A very good morning to fellow alumnus, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome everyone to our 39th webinar series. You folks never fail to impress me. I'm so impressed at the turnout for the session on a Sunday morning, when we usually wake up to a laid-back agenda-free day. But as you all know, we at AABN have been trying to transform this phase of lethargic lockdowns into a productive phase by presenting to you a gamut of technical and business experts and seasoned speakers to talk to you about upgrading core skills and competencies relevant to changing times and future challenges. In the ecosystem of entrepreneurship, communication and presence with strength are useful ways to help you build strong relations with other entrepreneurs. They may belong to different age groups, geographical domain, and interest fields. It is not much cost and time consuming to form a good network. At AABN, we understand your needs and introduce you with the right people and resources. AABN has always strived hard to provide up-to-date information on developments that are of interest to you. Even during these difficult times arising out of COVID-19, we continue to remain committed to keeping you informed and updated with credible webinars, authoritative views on topical issues of relevance. So at the outset, I owe each of you a big thanks for logging, and I assure you that the next couple of hours is definitely going to be a rewarding experience with useful takeaways for us. Yes, I'm saying this with confidence because such is the profile of our guest speaker this week. What makes him an apt choice for this audience is that he too is an alumnus of Annamalai University. I have the pleasant duty of welcoming and introducing him today at Business Brands Breakthroughs, the rise of an Youpreneur, an interactive business networking session. There are two sides of Mr. S.M. Balaji. One is that of him being a Youpreneur, the CEO and business manager of the successful India Metalworks Chennai, someone who transformed a traditional family firm into a professionally run business and a competent brand. The other side is that of him being a very engaging, motivational speaker who can easily inspire positive changes in this audience. To give you a little primer about him, Ms. S.M. Balaji is an alumnus of our Annamalai University. He is a 93 batch graduate of chemical engineering. Subsequently, he completed his MTech biotechnology from Anna University with a specialization in bioprocess. Though he belonged to a business family, Mr. S.M. Balaji opted for a step-by-step progress in his career, wherein nothing but hard work, dedication, and sincerity to learn mattered most. So he spent through a round of internships and job. He interned at Torrent Research Center, Ahmedabad in penicillin G fermentation. He also had a fruitful stint as junior manager in Biocon India Limited, where he later went on to become the plant manager for 2 years. While gaining technical and administrative experiences in the corporate world, the appeal of family business was hard to resist. Soon he found himself effortlessly slipping into the role of entrepreneur, bringing in the much needed freshness and charting a new path for the business of metalworks. Aligning family values and management culture is quite a challenging task. Family-owned business, regardless of the size or industry and geographic region they operate in, tend to have some common characteristics which include a deep spirit of entrepreneurship, long-term vision, strategy, and commitment to stakeholders, and of course, a clear focus on profit, preservation, pedigree, and progeny. I must say, Mr. S.M. Balaji has been successful in not just walking the tightrope, but has also taken the business to new heights with his entrepreneurial zeal and new world professional approach. Today, India Metalworks encompasses manufacturing and importing commercial kitchens such as equipments used in hotels, restaurants, hostels, canteens, and hospitals. Some of his achievements as COO and business manager include streamlining the family business of aluminum utensils and improving the packaging, expanding to supply vessels and support accessories to hotels, entering the stainless steel kitchen equipment segment, supply of multi-brand imported equipment, and the evolution of Prigo. Apart from business, his interests lie in social work through various capacities in Rotary Club. He was director Chennai Guindy District, went on to serve stints as president and assistant governor too. He currently holds the district and its chair. An avid traveler and as someone very active on social media, he is here to regale us with all his experiences. He is also said to have come up with some very impactful motivation videos. Those who know him say his enthusiasm is infectious, and we are lucky to experience it up close today. Before I wind up, I would like to reiterate once again, at AABN, we believe in free, fair, and credible networking. Your engagement and constant feedback on how to improve our offering can only make our resolve and commitment to these ideals stronger. As we battle the economic impact of the pandemic, we need your support even more so that we can continue to offer you more quality content. Your support through more participation can help us to enable networking to which we are committed. Thank you, and over to Mr. S. M. Balaji.
Most of us miss out on life's big prizes, probably the Pulsar, the Nobels, the Oscar, but we are all eligible for life's small pleasures. A pat on the back, a kiss behind the ear, a 4-pound vase, a full moon, an empty parking space, a crackling fire, a great meal, a glorious sunset, hot soup, and of course, why not a cold beer? Let's not fret about coping life's grand rewards. Let's enjoy its tiny delights also. There are plenty for all of us, and I'm sure this is my humble sharing of my humble journey in this entrepreneurship. Good morning, dear friends. And it's a great pleasure being amongst our Annamalai University network. I consider it as a very big honor bestowed. And it is very, very interesting to have known few of our seniors in this journey, mainly Mr. Gopi, who had been so instrumental in making this happen. First of all, my wishes to my classmate Haripriya, who has connected me to Mr. Gopi, to ensure that I will be able to do some justice in this topic. So when Gopi connected with me, we had a very long call. The entire process itself about how this AABN has been doing it, because there are a lot of newcomers also in this particular network, alumni network. So it's nice, and it's always interesting to share these things. That's what I was talking to my friends when I was talking to them. How did the topic arrive? When I shared this invite to a couple of my friends, they immediately called me and said, Balaji, how is this app topic, the invite, the concept? How did it get evolved? Who gave this idea is what the first question they asked me. I said, idea, it was not anybody's idea, but it had been evolved together, and thanks to Mr. Gopi and Mr. Sadasivam, Mr. Tariq, the entire team. I mean, these are three people whom I've interacted, but there's a many people behind this scenes to have made this happen. So when we had a long call, I would not say even one call, there will be multiple calls with Mr. Gopi. So we evolved what all could be the things, what could be the points. So we kept on discussing about different topics. Then finally he said, Balaji, it will be really nice if you could talk about your own brand. What are the journeys? What is from a traditional family business, how you have evolved into a brand which is being reckoned in the food industry now. So why don't we talk about this? I said, that sounds interesting, Mr. Gopi. Why not we take that up? So it's going to be business, brands, breakthroughs, and the rise of the Youpreneur. That's what the topic was given by Mr. Gopi and the team. I would like to share the screen now. Yeah, is it a full screen visible, Mr. Gopi?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you. So the transition of a family business, there are some 7 headings which we evolved on. To start with, it was a transition of a family business, how it all started. So that's what was that. Before we could get into this, our humble salutations to our father, Sri S. Marudai, who always believed that work is worship. And to say a brief about how our business started, the original business that started. We hail from a village, a remote village called Telungapatti near Manapare, Trichy district. And that's how my father, who had come there way back in late 1950s to work in his uncle's shop, who had a utensil shop those days. So he used to very lightly share that he got down in the central station, and once the rickshawala standing there asked him where you want to go. It was Nainiappan Street, they're just 2 streets away. By walking itself will take hardly less than 5 minutes. But this guy said, you come, how much you have? He said, it seems I have 2 rupees. And that's the only money his mother had sent it across with him. So he said 2 rupees. So he took him throughout Waltax Road, everywhere. Blue Star Hotel, Waltax, all that area completely roamed everywhere, and finally came and dropped him in Nainiappan Street and pulled out the 2 rupees also. So he said, very light, on a light vein, he always used to share this day. This is my experience of starting in Chennai. After a short stint, he started his own business in the year of 1967, and that's when India Metal Works was born. Even though we were born and brought up in Chennai, even though we had whatever the family legacy in terms of building up the legacy for the last 3-4 decades, he definitely gave us a total outside about as to what we can do, what we felt is right. He gave us the power of decision making, and that's what something was very, very interesting for us in terms of selection. So the next important aspect played an important role in my life is, I always used to say, is this particular magical word, Annamalai University, which all of us have that lovely, this memories of this Chidambaram railway station and the RSA Rani Sede Hall or the Mulla Illam where we used to stay in our first year, or in Rani Mayame hostel, everywhere. So this is a very emotional collect for Annamalai University when we talk about this. I still remember the day when they came to see me off in the railway station, Egmore. Those days we used to have the car going up to the Sengote passenger from Chennai. So we all used to park the cars outside the coach itself and just cross the platform and get into it. And after that, the moment when I entered the hostel, the reason why I'm saying this, Annamalai University, a stay in an Annamalai University, the hostel, the campus really transforms a person. Hitherto, what my mother used to write wherever in my personal file or whatever it is, Balaji is a very shy guy. He requires a lot of improvement because whoever comes to my house also used to run away. So that was a basic thing which Annamalai University gave me, the transformation, and that is a very big emotional connect we had. The moment we went inside, that seeing the rooms, 3 people in a room coming together, giving us all the freedom of planning our times, planning what to attend, what not to attend. It was a very good transformation which I could see when compared to the engineering college here. Now you have a time for your bus to catch. You should. This is how you should be. That is how you should be. They taught something what is called freedom teaches more discipline, and that's what it happened throughout me. The kind of closeness amongst friends we used to get. In any 220 bus till now it goes like almost 25 years since we have completed. And this is very, very important in terms of that. And after Annamalai University, I had a post-graduation done in Anna University. And after that, had a small term of 3 years working as plant manager in Biocon, where I learned the complete nuances of both not only technology, more on manageable aspects. As a small company those days, Biocon, we had a direct interaction, we had a flat management. So it was very helpful for me to learn the nuances of management in the corporate world. Furthermore, after that, I felt enough is enough. I needed a bigger challenges in life. So I said, I had the entrepreneurial need within me, or the entrepreneurial calling within me. So I went and discussed with my boss. He said, Balaji, are you sure you want to leave the job? You're in a very, very fast track. Please think again, once again. I said, no, this is something, a greater calling for me. And that's how I entered into the family business. And this is where the transition happened. Coming from a corporate where you have at least 70, 80 people working for us, you have structures for anything, just all you have to do is just think and the work will happen. So that is a very different mindset. You have a separate HR, you have a separate marketing, separate sales, you wanted whatever, you just have to think about it and you get there in a corporate world. And heading that 70, 80 people and coming to a family transition business where nothing is there, the only graduate was me and my brother to start off those days when we entered into family, because the need for them was, my family business was into aluminum manufacturing. And aluminum manufacturing, what I'm saying is, we used to buy the ingots, melt it into a furnace and make aluminum utensils. And that those days, my father, who had been a visionary, had traveled length and breadth in terms of North India to get these missionary sunrise industry. And slowly what happened is, everywhere he used to help people also put in the industry. So every other town used to come in and have their industries being set up. And that is how this entire business was being evolved in those days. And the values and ethics, how this is something which we always cherish from being imbibed, because from a family business to wherever we move towards, this values and ethics is something which we should not miss out. As I was talking to Gopi, Mr. Gopi also, he was insisting that I cover up this point. What is the previous generation? Because we always try to dissect things and we leave the history back, but there are certain things which can be always taken up. So that will be a very good take in case for this topic, is what he was trying to say. So my father always used to, there's a lot of things which we have imbibed from him. The first and foremost, as I put there, is in his title, as soon as we entered this office, he used to have this work is worship and knowledge is power. Whatever, even though he hailed from a normal village, and where his education was only 10th standard, he ensured that this work is worship is something very important. And he used to take that extra effort to read in Hindu papers, try to communicate in English. And me and my brother were the first people to enter college itself in our family. And that was a very big, pride for us that point of our time. And he felt very happy about it. So what he used to say is, when I complain about being in Annamalai University, because you're being in a very comfortable place, and Annamalai University having the hostels, having its own challenges, those days, he always said, "See, enough is enough. Meaning, what does it mean is, we should not keep on pampering our child, and similarly, we should not leave unattended whatever the farm." And he meant the business also. Very often, even my friend Arul always used to tell that, your dad used to always say this, "Udaivan parkada vanigam kedu varamalai kedum." That was a very important aspect. His rituals are very, very important. He strongly believed on work rituals. What he says is, if at all the person who's in charge of the business, if he is not able to see the business, there's nothing, no ill fate is at all required at all for the business to fail. His inattentiveness to the business itself will make the business fail. And that is what he always felt, that this is very, very important. And that's the reason, like every day morning, 4:30 was his thing, was his ritual practice. Unfortunately, we are still able to start at, my brother starts his day at by 4:30 even now, but I start my day at 5 to 5:30. That is how my timing is. I'm not able to push it to 4:30. But whatever that little things, the thought process had always come to us, and that was very important in terms of that work rituals. When I say this work rituals, I always, this particular story comes to my mind, that there was this guy called Love Song, who was a Chinese guy, a small boy who wanted to learn Kung Fu. The moment he went and told to his father, "Dad, I want to learn Kung Fu." So his father took him, he's from a village. So some 2-3 villages, or it's almost a few hours of travel, they walk down to the Kung Fu monastery. Normally Kung Fu is taught in a monastery. So the father gives that honor, having a shawl. Normally in Tibet, China and all, they have this shawl as a mark of respect to the guru. So they go and give it to the master, and the father leaves off. So the master comes and tells his boy, "Go fetch a bucket of water." Immediately the boy goes with full energy, fetches a bucket of water, comes and starts splashing it out. He asks master asks him to splash the water out. So he continuously hits it and splashes out. So boy does it with full enthusiasm. The water completely splashes out. And after that, what happens is the master again tells him, "Go fetch another bucket of water." So this keeps on happening continuously. This keeps on happening. And one point of time, and not 1 day, 2 days, 1 month, for months together, this happens. This boy loses his interest totally. He says, "Enough is enough. I don't think so. I'll be learning Kung Fu." So he goes to the master and says, "Master, I would like to have few days off. I would like to go see my parents." So master says, "Okay, fine, go and come. What's there now? Go and come, take a break." So boy goes to his house, and Lobsong's arrival to his hometown reaches to all his friends, the boys, small boys who are playing. As soon as he reaches this town, all these boys start surrounding him and just keep pestering him to show us kung fu, show us kung fu. So what, this boy was so embarrassed. He felt so bad, miserable, that he knew for sure that he did not know kung fu. So what happened is he just came running, seeing away from the boy. The boys did not leave him. All small boys, they did not leave him. They kept continuously following him up to the drawing table of their house. All of them surrounded. Show me kung fu. Show me kung fu. Show us kung fu. Immediately, this boy, Lobsong, stood up the day, just lifted his hand and banged on the table and said, "I don't know kung fu." The table got broken. And that's what all the other guys will be dumbstruck seeing that. And dear friends, this is what I feel the work rituals could make an impact and an important effort. And that's very important. And these are the small things which we have been taught as we move forward from our young age, right from whatever it is, including some things like budgeting, wherever, even maybe 100 rupees, wherever, whenever we get that 100 rupees, we have to give a proper accounts to a dad. And he used to have, without a calculator, whatever complex of accounts also, he'll be using without a calculator, he'll say, this is the mistake. And he used to have a journal writing, which I feel is very, very important, which we even today we fall, in spite of having so much of technology. He used to have a small pocket book, have all his diaries done. This date, this appointment, he'll be there. This date, this has to be done. 4:30, he'll write down the complete thing in a pad of paper, in a pad, completely, and strike it out before he goes to walk at 5 o'clock. And that's how this entire thing of this rituals, which has been very, very important to us as we move forward. And the basics, whatever he said was, even we used to have a very comfortable living, whatever car at home, driver, we used to go with rickshaw, cycle rickshaws to the school. And that's something very memorable in terms of this. And what happened is, one point of time, whatever here and there he was doing some work, he kept on telling us right from the young age, whatever we earn, this has to be given back to the society. And one point of time, he started this called trust called, he said it has to be organized charity. And he started this something called SM Charities, which till now, whatever we could do, we have been doing, helping out in terms of medical, education, surrounding the community, wherever we are having our office in that central area, whomever it is, we are just trying to help in our own benefit, in our own interest, whatever we have been earning and investing into it. So that is what is the basic values and ethics which we have imbibed from our previous generation. Once we entered into this business, what is the new potential of this business expansion we found? As I told you, we were into aluminum vessels. After 1998, I left Biocon, I joined business along with my brother, Mr. S.M. Shankar, who's here. We felt there was a big requirement because till such industry, when my dad started aluminum vessels, it was a sunrise industry. But after that, slowly with a lot of localized people entering into the business, it slowly became like everywhere there were people. And we felt it a little difficult in terms of the price competitions. And we felt there was not much of innovation at that particular area of the vessels which we were doing it. So we said, why not get into the hotel supplies? So a friend of us was telling us, why don't you just enter into hotel supplies? And that's how we entered into hotel supplies. We used to supply hotel wares, basically utensils, cups, glasses, ladles, whatnot. They'll have a huge list of items which we used to do it and supply that. While we were supplying to the hotel supplies in different places, one of the canteens when we had supplied there, the canteen manager was asking us, Balaji, why don't we do this instead of this vessels? Why don't you do this equipments? That's a big demand. Hitherto, what happened was the hotels and other things, they used to have a cement flow. They used to use brick and cement to build the burners, for the burners, or they used to use firewoods for burning or cooking. And that was a time way back in 99, 2000, this stainless steel concept had come in. Equipments were made in stainless steel for the hotel industry. He said, why not you guys enter in that? You have all the qualifications, why not we enter in? To be honest, we did not know anything about this. We started researching. And when we asked one of our senior staffs from our old industry, he said, oh, you, and item la rumba heavy item, that is made out of two heavier gauge. What we are doing for vessels is all light gauges only. So that is a different ball game together. Let us not do it. We did not leave it there. We again went and spent a lot of time with our customers, understanding what it is. And slowly, here we are. We got the first order without even knowing what the product is. We have an order with us and we don't know what to do. We searched out of people. We finally located few contractors who were willing to help us out. And we went and gave it. Once it was done, the first equipment, we found it very, very difficult because the customer asked us, is this what I was asking you? We didn't even know whether to say, yes, this was the item which you are looking at. So we did a lot of research, again, visited a lot of, it was definitely a painful start, but the learning end of the day was brilliant because we did one of a Chinese, so-called a Chinese range. And so much of difficulty, it was a very expensive equipment those days. The hotel owner said, no, this is not Chinese range. Please take it away. We did not know how to. We also did not know how it was looking. We went and asked the fabricator. He said, this is the Chinese range. Even I know how to do it. Then we went and visited a lot of 5-star hotels, a lot of 3-star, 4-star hotels, found out what is Chinese range, took it as a challenge, and we got the Chinese range delivered, and we became an important supplier for the Chinese range for that particular hotel owner itself. So that's how our journey started off, in supplying 1 or 2 equipments. And slowly what happened is we started doing full kitchens like Cosmopolitan Club, Meridian. We have been doing few kitchens, full kitchens. And this is the journey of the transition we felt. The moment we are stuck up with something, we have to innovate and we have to keep moving forward. And that's how we entered into this fabrication. This is the stainless steel fabrication, which we have been doing all these years. So what happens is, after that, while we were in the fabrication, we felt the importance of traveling. This is very important in terms of, this gave us a lot of knowledge. A lot of friends said, you should go and visit Singapore, Sri Lanka, Malaysia. So that was a very first international travel. We have never been out of the country. So we said, let us get the international exposure. So me and my brother went across, and of course, my father also motivated us. He said, you should, guys, before entering into the next set of business, you should go first, visit internationally, understand what people do, and then come back and try to implement. And way back, before we were about to enter the business itself, that's before we started fabrication itself, we had been to Sri Lanka. And then, of course, any foreign countries used to be, after Sri Lanka, used to be Singapore and Malaysia for most of us in the list. So we visited Singapore and Malaysia. And in Singapore, when we left, one of my seniors, Vinayaga Murthy of 91 batch, if I'm right, 89 or 90 batch, he said, you're going to Singapore. He is from the same market we used to be there. He said, you're going to Singapore, meet Pony. I've not met Pony earlier. He's from 90 batch or 91 batch. He said, go meet Pony. Oh, he gave his number and that's it. The moment I went and called up Pony and said, Pony, and I'm Balaji from 93 Annamalai University, the kind of energy, the enthusiasm, and that is very contagious, and that's very proud to call myself as an Annamalai. 2 days, right from the time we logged in there, we landed there, he took care of us totally. What you want to do? He was running his own business. And what you want to do? What has to be done? And which are the places you have to see? Which are the business houses you have to do? Go meet them. Complete planning was done. And of course, we had my friend from Annamalai, Sangaya. And then we had Raja. Then my junior Ramalingam, who's also chemical engineer junior, who's also doing very good in Singapore. Even today, he's running a very big business enterprises. That kind of connect Annamalai University. My brother was really zapped seeing this. What is this? A kind of an emotional connect, which I'm sure Annamalai University is probably one of the universities which could give this particular connect. And that's very important, dear friends. And that's very important. And after that, we went to Malaysia. See, the point is this international travel expands our horizons. How the way we think of people. A very good example is when I was when we were in Malaysia during our first trip, we were just exploring different business opportunities there, whom to meet, what to do. So whenever we are from India, whenever we tell to people that we are from India, people immediately connect to their friends and the friends of friends, and that's how it keeps going. So what happened is a friend of mine, a friend of his, then connected finally to one Mr. Arasu, which I always share this experience. So Mr. Arasu was a general manager of Network Foods, the very big chocolate making company. Immediately he said, we were supposed to meet him at 7 o'clock, dot 7, we met him in Klang, Malaysia. He said, what is your plan after this? He said, we don't have any plan. Okay, he said, come, let's go and visit our chocolate factory. It is a 24 hours running chocolate factory. So he took us there, showed the complete factory, and next day was Saturday. He said, what is your plan? He said, we don't have any plans. So he said, be ready at 9 o'clock and I will come and meet you. He said, normally our pattern is, yaar varapora, enna panna poranga. Anyway, we got ready and just kept quiet. 9 o'clock, 8:59 dot, we get his honking sound from the car. The whole day took us to Malay, to KL, showed us everything. Similarly, Sunday, till such time, he was just trying to help us out in each and every aspect of our travel. And this is something was very new to us. This kind of an experience which we have never got in our life. Probably we had our own doubts. He said, why is this person has to come and help us? What is this? What is his intention? So my brother said, let's better we ask him. So about the day when we are about to leave, he came to see us off. Gaining a lot of confidence, we told him, Illana, this is something which we want to actually clarify with you. We are looking out for a long-term relationship. We are not looking something on a short term. Why is that you have to help me like this? Help us like this out of the way. But that very simply said, because somebody helped me some other day. When I was 10, 15 years back traveling to London from Malaysia, it was a very long flight. And usually whenever we go travel abroad for education, it is some friends, somebody come to pick us up, show us a room, help us find a room and put us there in the room in proper condition. And somebody, when I was traveling to London, my connecting flight was delayed. And I did not have a telephone to inform my friend's friend who was supposed to come and pick me up. I thought, and it was a winter, I was totally under stress the entire long haul of the flight, thinking how I'm going to reach my room. And taxis and other things are going to be so expensive. My 1 month or 2 month budget will go off in a single taxi. So I was just wondering. And after so many hours of delay, when I land in London, there was this guy who was standing with a placard. And he said, yes, welcome to London. I asked him, what is this? Why you have to do this? He said the same thing. My friends and friends came and helped me when I came to London. And this is that small act of kindness which I'm expressing to you. And vice versa, Mr. Arasu also said the same thing. This acts of kindness, this exposure definitely gave a total perspective on taking things as it is and keep moving forward. And this is something which is very, very important. So when we first went all this, it was just an exposure to us and nothing more than the exposure. We just looked around as if though, there was a very big disconnect. We could not able to connect to the products because they were all high technology products. And slowly what happened is we started observing things, whether we knew it or not. The moment we go for a show or go for a meeting, me and my brother used to come down back in the hotel room, keep writing down everything, whatever is the thought process which has gone into us. And that is how it happened. The moment we got an opportunity back here in India, we started supplying our first imported equipment, which was a dishwasher. So that was a very, very important thing which we felt. And hitherto, after that, what happened is we started doing full projects also for the imported equipments. And we were doing both fabrication and imported equipment for the kitchen business. And we were doing multi-brands. So what this happened is, one point of a time, the manufacturer started having too many distributors in India once we developed the brand. So there was a big price war, and this led to a lot of difficulty in terms of running this business also. It so happened, one of the customers whom we had been supplying also, the supplier without our knowledge, unexpectedly, because this customer immediately wrote to the brand company asking for a quote. So we gave the same quote, and there was a difference of a very small difference, which we have to hike up as profit and give it to them. The client said, no, we have got a quote from the supplier itself. And this something was bothering us. We said, why not do our own brand? Whatever pain points we have faced dealing with multi-products, having stocking spares for multi-brand products, why don't we evolve our own brand? And that is how Prego. When me and my brother were sitting and discussing what could be the name of the brand, I suddenly said, what about going for Prego, which means welcome in Italy? Because we have been doing many processes and many buying from Italy, and all our products, most of our products comes from Italy. He said, why don't we call it as Prego? That will be a very good thing. And that's how Prego was born. Initially, it was just a handwritten, normal typed version, and with an eclipse into it, the brand incorporated into that. Then later, when we went to Italy, one of our suppliers, they helped us in creating and drawing this particular artwork itself. And we had registered this brand way back in 2012. And recently, we got this brand with an R, which we feel is a very, very big accomplishment and a proud moment for us. And we also felt along only the brand might not be sufficient. We need to have a recall. And we had an emblem, the lion emblem, the lion which depicts not only the line which depicts that it's a king of the jungle, but also it also gives us one strong message: the law of wasted efforts. Yes, dear friends, the lion, when it goes out for hunting, only 25% of the time it's successful, 75% of the time it fails, and that's the normal average which we have read somewhere. So similarly, in our things also, in our journey also, there would have been many hurdles which we have crossed across. And there's only one thing which keeps us going is the endurance, the persistence, the consistency, and the constancy in whatever we do. And that is how this particular brand, Prego, has evolved over the years. Initially, when we had got the MOQs were very less, so we used to have a stickering done back in India. But later, once our volume's gone, this is one of the factories which gets the ovens gets manufactured. The Prego ovens gets manufactured in Italy, and this is one of the products which we have been doing. And this is how it is. Prego means it is different languages. It all means welcome. How do you welcome people in different languages? And that's what this brand, we call it, is Italian style, emotion, and always we work on innovation. And that kept us going all through. Next, what happened was, in this journey, when along with my brother, we always felt there's nothing written rule, Mr. Shankar and myself, there's no written rule, you take care of this or I take care of this. There is always a competition. There is always competition for contribution, not for anything else. We compete to contribute. You have done this, we compete. Okay, I will say I'm going to compete to do better than this. So that's always an unwritten rule that we have to better what we had done earlier. And that is how it has been doing it. And this particular brand has given us a very good playing field. I always share this experience of this Mr. Jean, the big column writer in Washington Post. When Mr. Jean thought of doing an experiment, a live experiment in a Washington station, he had engaged, he had requested Joshua Bell. Most of you all must be knowing Joshua Bell is one of the leading violinists. So he said, he explained this experiment. He told Joshua Bell, it seems, I want to do an experiment. I wanted you to come and play your violin in one of the sub-metro stations. And I want to see what is going to be the response of the people there if a person like Joshua Bell is going to play there without any announcement. So it was on January 12th, someday, way back in 2006 or 7, the D-Day came, and Joshua Bell, who stayed 2 blocks away in his hotel, took a cab to come there because he was going to play using his $3.5 million violin there. So he brought that safely there. 7:45, he started playing the violin. First music note he played was Cajon, which is one of the most 3 centuries old music, which is one of the most complex musics, and Joshua Bell used to play it with ease. He gave his complete attention to play the music, and he started playing the music. He could hardly find anybody stopping them listening to him. After the 6th minute, there was somebody who just turned his face just to see somebody's playing the violin music and moved away. And after the 7th or 8th minute, he got his first dollar, the collection of what is happening. Previous week, Joshua Bell's ticket, each ticket was sold at $100 per seat. And one more, in the 3 days back, he played to a full audience where it's stand-up audience where everybody stood up to listen to his music, to his complete music play. And they were holding to the lady recognized him as Joshua Bell. She gave him a tip of $20. So the total collection for that 45-minute music was $32 minus this $20 from a lady. It was $12, whom 26 people gave. On an average, it was 50 cents per person. So this was what happened on that experiment. And after that, Joshua Bell was interviewed and asked. It was a very difficult exercise for me because when so involvedly I was playing my Cajon music, when I lifted my head to see there was nobody to recognize me for that complex music I played. And for that, he said, if at all somebody lifted their head up to see me, I felt very honored. I was just earning for that appreciation. I was just earning for that recognition. I was just wondering whether somebody put $1 or 50 cents. I was also very curious to see that. And this was a state of mind. Then the leveling, the playing field is very, very important. And the same thing happens to us in business also. The playing field is very, very important. We have to be creative and innovative in knowing where is our playing field. And that is what, very humbly I would put it forward, has been a journey for us throughout in understanding our playing field. Once the playing field is understood very well, we can, whatever the music, the orchestra music, what we are playing is going to be full houses. Then technology coming forward, this is what Combion, which we have evolved. This is something, what we did is we just didn't import things. We understood what is required for the Indian market and accordingly made changes, being there with an R&D of the international company, made the necessary changes. And that is how we have brought different products, understanding for the mass market. Hitherto, imported equipments were only for the five-star hotels. We said the technology has to reach the masses. And that is our journey so far. We have brought in equipments to suit our masses and easy to operate equipment. And this is very important in terms of moving forward. This is how the equipment operates. They make idlis in this. The vegetables, the colors does not change at all. And it's a high technology. When I talk about technology, it's also about fuel saving. This consumes 30% of fuel when compared to the conventional way of gas cooking. So this is a big revolution in terms of food equipments. So this is something which we designed completely, ensured for Indian cooking, for biryanis, for idlis, whatever is a kind of Indian cooking, make the necessary changes at the factory to suit our need and have the minimum MOQ bought to ensure that we completely comply with whatever is required, the needs of this local industry. And this is what happens. We have brought in all this into an infographic model in terms of what all has to be communicated to the customer. And this is a value proposition also, which we have been doing this. So you have what is a menu for the customer, how long he's going to do it, what is going to be the equipments used, and what is the power requirement, and what is going to be the saving. Any particular product, we tell the customer, if you don't save anything, if there's no improvement on your product, quality, savings, or time, whatever it is, you should not invest on it. And that is very, very important in terms of whatever we are doing. So this dishwasher again is a very, very proud introduction. Even though we have 10 products, these three products that we feel is very, very important, because dishwasher in terms of the water wastage which is happening, because when we go to restaurants and other places, we see there are a lot of running waters going on the sink taps, 3 sinks, and you have running water going, huge waste of water which is happening there. But this particular dishwasher or the glass washer, what happens is it uses only 100 ml of water to wash a glass, whereas when you do it manually, it takes more than 1 liter of water for washing the glasses. This is very important in terms of doing this. And we feel this is a very big, important responsibility. I say it's not a business for us, especially glass washers. It is our responsibility in doing something back to the society what we live in. Because there's so much of wastage of things happening. And when people use dishwashers, the soap and softened hands,
Balaji, we are not getting the audio of.
ரீசார்ஜ் ஆப்ஷன் பெறுவதற்கு ஏதாவது ஒரு கீயை பிரஸ் பண்ணுங்க.
Gopi, I don't know, it's hanging. Yeah. So that was the reason why I showed that was it is a very big responsibility we consider for that. Mass product, because we would have seen always technology is for bigger hotels or bigger organized sectors, where in our country, still the organized sector is in this particular industry, at least in the restaurant industry, is hardly 10 to 20% of the market. The overall market is still in the organized sector. But this is something which we want things to be taken to the mass level. And this is very important for us. A roadside shop using a fryer for making vada. So this is technology being brought to the mass levels. Once they know the value, what they're going to get, I'm sure this is what will happen. Next, we have the blast chiller. In terms of food safety, there's a lot of wastage which is happening throughout our country, especially in the cooked food segment. And this particular equipment ensures that we have the cooked food stored properly in the food as per the Food Safety Act of India, and it's been regenerated and given. So there's absolutely no food wastage happening. So these are the small things which we have been able to bring in technology for the masses. Next, if we see what is the simple things, milestones so far we would have achieved. This is the entire chart of Prego, I would always say. So this is basically creativity, which is followed by some innovations which we have been doing, and the products, if whatever we have come across as products like dishwashers, ovens, ice cube machines, whatever it is, and from there it goes into different all throughout the country. We have been doing this. And it's always, whatever product we have brought in technology-wise, it's going to be a saving in terms of resources, manpower, or whatever in terms of the productivity. So that has always been our mantra in terms of whatever product we are doing, and easy to maintain product, because spares were very expensive hitherto for imported equipments. We try to indigenize whatever it is. We try to buy from the original component manufacturer, not from the equipment manufacturer. So that is again saves a lot of expense in terms of the cost of the spares, which we have been able to pass on the benefit to the customer. And this is what happens. We become a solution provider finally with Prego. And this is a journey. And in terms of the future things also, now the IoT, which is coming up, the Internet of Things, which is a new buzz. And yes, commercial kitchens are also getting into it. There's a lot of wastage. For example, an exhaust hood, how many of you have entered into a kitchen, industrial kitchen or restaurant kitchen? It runs with a 5 HP or a 10 HP motor, irrespective, the switch is normally elsewhere. The moment once they switch on the motor from morning till evening, it keeps running. It sucks a lot of power contribution is happening. With this IoT things, you could control based on the heat, say the heat and the smoke, the motor adjusts its speed. This is the next in thing which we are doing. Similarly, we could monitor the temperature of the oil, which is being used for frying. So that is something which is very, very important. 3 is the ovens from a remote location, one chef, an excellent chef, can control 100 ovens in different locations, the cooking operations. A semi-skilled person in a particular cloud kitchen, we call cloud kitchen. Post-pandemic now, this is what is going to happen now. There are going to be many people who are going to enter into the cloud kitchen, or what we call as the dark kitchen. The dining spaces are going to come in, and this IoT is going to play an important role of energy management and the proper food safety for all our products, which is going to be manufactured. So that is it. And wastage is something very, very important, which we are focusing on. Wastage, dewatering, and also converting as a one more step further into a usable manure is what is there in our cards very soon. So far, this is a geographical area which we have covered completely, and still we are waiting for some more areas to be covered. And in the future expansions, we are going to come in to other countries also, which I'll show you. This is spare maintenance, which is very, very important, because as my dad always used to say, anybody buys an equipment from us, it is our duty to ensure that the equipment works at every time. So what we do is, as a brand for Prego, we have 3 levels of safety. The first level, the proper installations by the technical staff. The second level, we do and month-on-month AMC, whether it's a preventive maintenance. We don't believe in breakdown maintenance. And the third level of safety, in spite of all this, if between that 1 month, if at all they have any challenges or training or staff leaves or something, they require a training, we have people going. So we have 3 levels of safety to ensure this. And the spares, completely we maintain all the spares in terms of this. And we also, one more innovation, what we did is, when our service engineers used to go to for services, this is something called a gastronome pan. There's always some or the other requirements for accessories. We also try to use that as an opportunity to service the customer with the required accessories. And this is how Prego as a brand is evolved, and we have dealers appointed all throughout, and this is our typical dealer certificate. And this is our future expansions very soon, which we are going to enter. We are already on talks with distributors there: Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and all these are the places which we are going to enter. The challenges there they face is they are very, in terms of their volumes, are little less. So for them to import on a container load is going to be difficult. And we, as a brand, in terms of support of spares, support of equipments, will be easy. And that has been our thought process in terms of entering these neighboring countries. And that is our near future for us. And away from all business, this is my little passion, addressing youth. And that I have been always there. Thank you for your patient hearing. And I hope on time. Thank you. And before I could sign off, dear friends, I don't know your dreams. I have no idea as to your desires. I likely don't even know you personally, but I do know what we are made of. It's pure possibility. It's a core made of power. It's a mind made for visions. It's an heart built for love. It's a spirit designed to hope. Thank you for your patient hearing, and thank you, Mr. Gopi and team, for this kind of opportunity.
What a fantastic speech, Mr. S.M. Balaji. I'm lost for the right adjectives to express how much we enjoyed it. A few people can express their passion for the subject and profession so effectively, and you are one of them. Thank you, Balaji. Thank you,
Gopi.
Yeah, thank you all for participating in this lively Sunday morning session. I hope you all found it useful and had plenty of takeaways from it. Such interactive sessions would not be a success without you all. Really, thank you all for being here today morning. Over to Tariq.
Yeah, thank you, Gopi. Balaji, we don't have words to express. It was quite a mesmerizing presentation. We are all out of words to understand the passion and the clarity of thought that your family has been having, and the kind of hard work research that you have been doing in the industry. To make everything successful, you need that kind of a passion. It all starts from having that basics very strong. The journal writing that you said that you follow even today is one example of how meticulous you as a business and a family have been doing. And most importantly, giving back to society, the charitable trust that you have been having. And on the business side, I think sky is the limit. Now you have gone to the stage of IoT based products, and tomorrow you may look at robotic based products also. It's quite interesting and amazing to see the success story of Prego. And one thing that you stressed, the international travel and the exposure that people need to have, is a very, very vital thing for any business to succeed and to be on par with the international market. And understanding and providing a level playing field, technology for the masses, and again, importantly, in any product that you do, in terms of storing the power, not wasting the power, wasting the water, these kind of nitty-gritties that you have been following adds a lot of value to the business that you are in. And we thank you so much for a wonderful presentation. We are getting a lot of questions from our friends who are posting. I would also like to open up the mics. If people want to ask you directly, they can kindly raise their hands and we can open up the mic one by one. And
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Tariq and Mr. Gopi once again. Whatever I'm possible, I'll try to answer.
yeah, one question from Mr. Ashraf, Singapore.
Yeah, hi Ashraf, vanakkam. Yeah.
Is there any appropriate Prego brand for mass production of 20,000 pieces of medu vada per day?
No, we don't have that, Ashraf, as of now. Probably I could help you out finding one with that requirements. We don't have it. See, what in Prego is very simple. Whatever product we do is, I mean, that's something which I would like to add here. One point of time we felt when we were going for a dealer module in terms of working throughout the country, we felt this, most of our dealers were all fabricators like us. So what happened is they felt that we might be a competition to them. That is one. So just to give them the assurance and giving our focus completely onto the brand, we said, no, we are here we are only a product company. We are not a project company. That was a very bold decision which we have taken. And we said, no more customized products. It is going to be standard products for the masses. So that way we will be able to give the right price and the volumes we could assure to our suppliers also. So that was the entire thought process which we had gone into it. And we, at one point of time, we stopped completely fabrication also. So it is only Prego and Prego also for the mass market. But definitely I can help you out with that. Sure. Probably we'll be offline, be in touch.
Actually, I did receive some supplies quotation, but the one for making this a donut.
Okay, okay.
Medu vada is sticky, right?
Yeah. So it doesn't work. Actually, I've tried that. It doesn't work actually, Ashraf. The donut fryer somehow that doesn't work for vada because vada has a lot of urud dal, ulundu into it. You know that actually pulls the weight down. Whereas maida, the donut uses flour, white flour, which has that elasticity. So that was an important aspect. I could help you out offline. I can take that, share the details to you.
And we have Mr. N.S. Murthy, a veteran in the chemical industry with us today. And he has asked a question. How do you manage competition from other players like LG, IFB, etc.?
Yes, exactly. That's one thing. In fact, it was there in my thing also. Purposefully, I didn't say that. Good, he brought that question. See, there are people coming. They are into domestic segment. We are into business to business segment. What happened is, yes, of course, people like Whirlpool, Haier, all of them had come. But this market requires a lot of patience. It is not having people at different segments and say like a white goods industry move it. Some of that they tried, Whirlpool tried for 2 years and unfortunately, or you know what, this did not interest them. Fortunate for us or unfortunate for them, they did not interest them. They had removed the complete line of commercial line from India and moved away. So they have gone back to the domestic segment, white goods segment itself. So this particular thing so far, at least this is the experience which we got from Whirlpool and Haier. And I don't know what's going to be there in the future. But at least as of now, it's more of understanding the pulse of the market. Because what happens is a lot of our role here also, I would like to say, a lot of our, in our industry itself, a lot of brands from Italy, Germany, they come set up shops here. And what they look at India is, okay, 1.3 billion market. Okay, I'll put people, I'll put an export manager, I'll position somebody who will come here, visit every place, just like that, visit all the dealers and go ahead. But here, one thing which we have to understand is every 100 or 150 kilometers, the dialects changes here. 2, every 300 kilometers, the complete languages changes. And every 500 kilometers, the entire food quality taste differs completely. So we have to ensure that, and each and every person is so bent upon and understanding whether his product works. See, that patient is 100% required. And our module, dealer module, how it operates, it's not like stock and sell. What we do is we have demo kitchens being set up everywhere at the dealer's place. So they need to have the demo kitchen. It's people have to come, experience it, and then only they buy it. What we tell is, don't even ask the customers to buy. First, let them come and experience. Let them go off. Automatically, that registration will be there in the mind. They will come back to us. So that's what we strongly believe in. Experience before, know the value of it. And I showed a value proposition chart. And that is very important before making any decision. That value proposition chart is worked on by our engineers, and that's how, or by our dealers, and that's how it's been sold also. So it's a total different pattern of selling.
Great. There's a question from Mr. A.K. Shekhar, Plant and Process, Singapore. Do you have freeze dryer?
We don't have freeze dryer. As I told you, we are mainly catering into the hotel segment wherein we use blast chiller. Blast chiller is very, very important for food industry, because what is happening is in blast chilling, as per Food Safety Act, 15 to 65 is the danger zone. There are 3 types of bacteria acting on it. One is 15 to 30. It's cold liking bacteria. 3 is mesophilic bacteria. That is, first is psychrophilic bacteria, mesophilic bacteria, and thermophilic bacteria. That is 45 to 65 degrees. When we say food has to be stored above 65 degrees and not more than 2 hours, what happens is some restaurants will come and say, no, whatever we do is the fresh of fresh. I keep telling people also, to my friends in the industry also, they make a sambar first thing in the morning, tiffin sambar in the morning, 5:30, because normally restaurants open by 6:30 or 7 latest. So they will make the first big 100 liters of sambar they'll make in an aluminum dekshi. They'll keep it. So the first sambar set will be put into the bain-marie. Then again, sambar will over. Then again, they'll put it into a hot case. It will keep on boiling. And after 10 o'clock, the tiffin will go slow down. And again, the lunch will start off. So during lunchtime, we go and order some dosa or tiffin, something. They bring the sambar, which has been boiling in the bain-marie for a very long time. What happens is that structure changes completely. Ashraf will also second me in this thought, because overheating of a product changes the taste of the product completely. What will happen? It will start condensing, and you pour in more water just to maintain the thing. The entire structure comes, and if I don't know, some of us in this room also would have experienced that, going and ordering tiffin in one of the best restaurants also. If we are lucky, we would have got into a fresh load of sambar, or else what would have been is sambar would have been boiling on the bain-marie for a long time. You will taste it. It's not spoiled, but it will be flat. It will be hitting our mind that something is not okay. So this particular concept of blast chilling is what you try to bring down the product very fast to a safety zone. And that's what we have been doing this for bakeries, for meat restaurant, meat storages, fish storages, gravies. And this also what happens is increases the opportunity cost. For example, I run a restaurant. I'm making 50 kgs of butter chicken masala, or 50 portions of butter chicken masala. Now, what happens is today I know 50 portions of butter chicken masala is going to suddenly have a sport of people coming in. Some nearby, some function has happened, or some group of friends have met. Some crowd comes around 25, 30 people, and they order butter chicken masala. I don't have it. So I've missed an opportunity. Similarly, I make 50 butter chicken masalas, and only on it becomes a rainy day that day, and I'm able to sell hardly 10 butter chicken masalas. The 40 goes waste. This blast chilling brings in a technology wherein we don't miss out the opportunity. You have 100 butter chicken masalas stored safely as per international food safety norms. And as and when it's required, you take it out, you don't reheat it. We call using a combi oven, you regenerate it. Regeneration is infusing steam and heat together, thereby bringing the freshness out of it. So this is the basic concept of the blast chiller and the freezer.
So many intricacies are there which we are trying to now learn.
Yeah, it's a big subject actually. I mean, I'm trying to be as short as possible. It's a very big subject actually.
There's a lot of depth in it.
Because yeah, I mean, in fact, I was also very happy to see that 126 people being there in the group till we start till the end. You know, that itself is a lot of responsibility. Also, when I'm answering, I have to be very short to the point.
Absolutely. Shivaraman has a question. Many are not recommending oven-made food nowadays. how is it managed with Prego-made ovens?
Yes, see, oven-based food, where mostly what people talk about is microwave, if I'm right. So when we talk about oven, microwave, even I, with all due regards and respects, it's more of an American way of doing things. Anything there is reheated, anything there is fast food. And similarly, dishwashers also. If we have traveled, people who have traveled to Europe and US, there's the contrasting things is in US, the concept is more of fast foods, more of throwaways, disposables. Whereas in Europe, it's all reusable glasses, the cups, the porcelains, whatever it is, it's mainly reusable. And in US, it's mainly chain stores, whereas in Europe, it's all individual. Like if you go to Italy, village side, you have trattorias. So this is something which is very important in terms of the differentiation which we have to understand.
Okay. I actually personally have two questions, Balaji. Are you making any equipment for cakes and confectionaries?
Yes, we have been doing this. And just to continue that answer for that oven part of it, microwave is a wave technology, which actually spoils the food. Because what happens is once we use a microwave, after some time we keep it out, you will see the difference in the structure change. For immediate consumption at home, we don't do that. We never see that. What happens is you keep it in a microwave, it's hot, you just start consuming. But actually speaking, a convection oven is something which is very, very important. It is the technology what we are using is, yes, it could be the latest technology, but the concept of convection heating is a very traditional concept. We are not using any waves into our product. It's a simple convection technology wherein we use fan throws to heat the product.
Excellent.
The control factors, the steam, percentage of steam, the time taken is something wherein we try to bring in the technology there. Say, for example, you are asking about bakes, and this particular oven is a multifaceted oven in the sense it can multi-purpose oven. This is something which you can bake, you can roast, you can grill, you can steam, you can pouch, you can do all sort of things in one particular oven. And you can do multiple cooking. You can do baking, you can do a sweet preparation, you can also do a chicken grilling all together at one go.
Great.
Sir, is it, Tariq sir,
somebody.
one doubt. Sir, whether we can use that for a domestic application or it's purely for commercial?
It's purely for commercial, but yes, of course, if it's for a domestic application, if it's a bigger family, yes, of course, we can always do that.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thanks.
Pleasure.
And are you having plans of entering into refrigerated, counters?
Yes, we are already into refrigeration. That's the reason we have a whole lot of 10 products into our line. What happens is, into this particular thing is today I've just highlighted only 3 products, which I felt could be of a very big connect to people. That's something technology wise, or doing something back to the society in terms of the dishwashers or blast chillers in terms of food wastage, because our country wastes a lot of food, especially the prepared food. There's a lot of wastage happening. So this is something which will be very useful. So I've just highlighted these 3 products, but we also have refrigerators completely. All these are puff-filled refrigeration tables, workstations in stainless steel, completely upright as well as tabletop. And again, only for the restaurants and the food service equipment, food service industry.
Great. Prabhu has got a question, very important question. How do you adjust with family members being in the same business? What are the challenges and solutions?
Just family business members into the business. Yeah, as I told you, me and my brother who's here also, it's an unwritten rule. Like we compete to contribute. It's like hitherto what happened is I always tell people it's about hitherto earlier in a little bit we go back into history. During the Raja days, Maharaja days, we are all dependent on our Rajas. Then beyond in the late 70s, after the Maharajas, all the Rajas have been over, and the British post-independence and other things, what happened is we felt the urge of becoming independent. Meaning what even Elivalenal, Tanivala, meaning whatever it is, it has to be mine. That was one era. But now we are in an era of interdependency. We have to my father always says that meaning that interdependency, understanding, playing our strengths matters. I always share this simple, just a minute of that storytelling. This hare and a tortoise, all of us will know. The first version of the story, all of us will know. The hare sleeps, the tortoise wins. So what happens is you have to be attentive. The moral of the story is you have to be attentive. However talented you are, you have to be attentive. The second thing, what happens is the hare doesn't sleep, it wins the race. So whatever it is, the second moral of the story is you have to, whatever, just being fast and steady doesn't enough. You need to have that power to move forward. Something like the hare wins. The third thing, what happens is the tortoise now says, no, I will select the field where we need to have this race. So it has a water body in between. So the tortoise swims into the water body and wins it. So you should know where the playing field is, as I told about the Joshua Bell story. And the final thing, they become friends and they travel together. Once a pond comes in, the hare sits on the top of the tortoise and crosses the river, and they go to it. And that is what is interdependency. Once we understand each other's strength, it's very clear. Whatever it is, my brother will say, Thambita ketukkonga, or I will say, ask him, whatever the subject, no, it's very easy. And probably it's a gift also. Whatever you write written down in pages together also, it might not work out sometime. But in our case, yes, it's worked out. And we have a nephew also who's joined recently. He's into mechatronics. He's the one who was working on IoT. He's done his engineering from Germany now.
Excellent. And Anuj has a question. How do you motivate your staff to go along with your passion and to achieve potential?
Yeah, that's what, whenever our dealers or people say that, how's this Balaji or Prego team is like a battalion. I mean, the moment you just have to, they just look at you and they understand what is that you're meaning, what is the kind of instructions you're giving, and immediately they follow. It's basically what we do in Prego is continuous learning for them. Whatever they do, it's a continuous learning for them. Once that learning curve is there, and once two is, we give a lot of responsibility to people. And also three is, we also allow them to take the decisions, be it right, wrong, whatever it is. And we make a point very clear. Whatever is being told, even a little bit of words being used also, I say, it is only on the issue based, not on the personal. The moment it is over, if you have to say something also, I tell them, and the next moment we are very normal. So this, what happens is most of the team in Prego, till the journey in Prego, they feel it's a learning. They always have that confidence that it's a learning curve which is happening to them. And that motivates a lot.
Great. Mr. Ravi has...
Oh, there's a lot of questions, I think so.
Yes. I hope you are comfortable and you have time.
Yeah, please.
Mr. Ravi from Madurai has asked, can you provide your Madurai dealer details? And Babu also has asked how many branches in India.
Sure. I can probably offline. It's Guna Kitchen. I'll share the details. If you could share the number to them. I will share the details of my dealer in Madurai to them. Guna Kitchen. They are Guna Kitchen Equipments. I'll share the deal. Yeah, dishwashers not success. One person has asked dishwashers. One friend has asked dishwashers not success in domestic market. Yes, definitely. We buy dishwashers and cost effective. Finally, it doesn't work for our Indian conditions so far. And I was told in pandemic that a lot of people who have bought dishwashers, in some cases and all, there was waiting period to get the dishwashers, also domestic dishwashers. We are also looking out into it, whether there's a possibility, because when we want to do it, we want to do a semi-commercial dishwashers for the domestic segment, meaning it has to be standing long enough. This dishwashers, what we are getting now is 6 months max is their life. After that, it starts giving trouble. So we have to, even though it's going to be a little expensive, we have to work out a good model. We are just on the job for it also.
Right.
Yeah, Tarek sir.
Mr. Duraimanikam has a question. My question is, any household product, R&D is very important. How is this being developed and how much percentage of profit is required to be spent on R&D?
See, R&D, as I told, is creativity in our game. What we do is we understand the market pulse, as I've been telling is, the customer teaches us a lot of stuff. The market teaches us the pulse. So we understand. My travel is such that I schedule, whenever I go to a town, do you know, I go to a town and from there, what happens, my sales executive joins us and we visit different patterns of people when I'm traveling especially. I be there for 2 days I see different types: an industrial customer, a dealer, and a hotelier or restaurateur or fast food guy. For me to understand, my main purpose is more than immediate business. It's to understand the pulse. What does that market requires? And we come back. We work on. There's an R&D team which works on that. We have a small R&D setup in our office wherein we do the complete demos. We have chefs coming and working with us, understanding how better the product has to be. What are the changes has to be, continuous changes made to the product, and understand. And furthermore, what happens is we also invest a lot of time and energy into new products also. Now we will have 10 products and another 10 products which is being studied simultaneously by our team. We understand the complete spectrum of the product. For all we know, we might not even launch the product after 6 months of study. We will, the moment we feel it is not, the value proposition does not, the product might be good, but it does not suit the Indian market, we'll stop the launch. So we invest a lot of time, energy, and money in terms of researching on new products.
Great. And there have been a lot of questions relating to home use only. Ms. Meera Reddy, also my batchmate, is also asked, are you making products for home use?
Home products, we do convection oven, which I showed you. It's for home baking especially.
And for making biryani, you were telling you can use the ovens, right?
Yes.
Can you please explain a little bit?
Yeah, making biryani, this particular oven uses something called a 3-stage cooking. What we mean by 3-stage, there are 3 parameters in this: time, temperature, and steam. These are 3 stages, 3 parameters. And there is 3 stages of programming in this. What happens in this 3 stages, 3 or 5 stages? We have 2 models also. Each stage is what happens is you could set your time, temperature, and steam. And automatically, once, for example, you wanted an initial steaming to happen on your product, you have the steaming done. You program it such that 120 degrees, I wanted 100% steam, and I want the steaming to happen for 10 minutes. After that, you say second stage, I want only roasting, dry heat. I wanted to take the temperature to 180 degrees. So automatically, you can program it such that it goes to 180 degrees for 10 minutes. And the third stage, it can go to, again, you wanted to steam before you get it down. You can bring the third stage to 120 degrees for 5 minutes, and then you can close the program. So this is called, each stage is called, the 3 parameters put together is called each stage, one stage. And that, like that, we could have 3 stages.
As you know, we make a lot of biryanis, and biryani is one passion for our community.
Yes.
But dum biryani effect will come, is it?
Excellently, it comes out excellently. The dum biryani comes out excellently well. We can have a very nice dum also, and we also have something like, some people would prefer charcoal flavor in my biryani. Now we have food ingredients also to give the chocolate flavor. I mean the charcoal flavor completely. They have the chocolate sauces and the charcoal sauces, which can be powder or sauces, which is for edible completely. And they apply it on to the biryani or the chicken or whatever the things they do for the tandoori flavor. Now people are bringing that, but as for for the smell of the charcoal remaining, it comes out excellently well in terms of doing the dum also in Combio. And we could also have the bigger meat also done. Overnight cooking also can happen because it has something called a core probe. The probe goes inside, and the fan speed adjusts such that the internal part also gets cooked and the external part also. Because what happens is, in some cases, if the meat is too thick, the external part would have got cooked, the internal part wouldn't have got cooked. The moment you delay it more, that it roast the external part. Just to avoid that, the fan speed adjusts such that the internal part is also getting cooked, because the core probe keeps sensing the temperature internally. You can set the temperature also.
Excellent. In fact, there's a very good feedback from Mr. N.S. Murthy, telling next time when we visit a restaurant, look for Prego equipment.
Thank you.
Dining.
Thank you.
And I'll just open up. Pratap has a question. Pratap, you can unmute and ask.
Yes, sir. An excellent presentation. I'm Pratap, 2001 chemical batch.
Yeah, thank you, Pratap. Very nice meeting you.
Yes, sir. Food is one of my very interesting topics. I run a business called the Kana Mattress, where we make silk cotton mattress pillows and all that. Apart from that, I'm also admin of one of the largest and oldest food group in Chennai called the Chennai Food Guide. I think you must be aware of it. You must be knowing.
Yeah, Chennai Food Guide. I'm very much aware of.
So I'm one of the admins of Chennai Food
Very
Guide.
nice, very nice. Vertical.
Thank you. இப்போ எனக்கு ஒரே ஒரு question தான். ஏன்னா இப்போ வந்துட்டு because of this lockdown and pandemic, all the restrictions, I paused my business for a while. And I also know, because I'm in touch with a lot of hoteliers, and everyone is crying that because of this lockdown, we couldn't carry out our business as usual and all that. So since you are a vendor to most of the hoteliers, that could have affected your business also, in terms of buying equipment or repair or whatever it is. So how are you going through this lockdown or thing? How are you keeping your morals high, and how are you sustaining your business during this period? This is my question.
I think so. Most of us, not necessarily in the food industry, most other industries also, many other industries also will be undergoing the same thing.
But food is the most affected industry.
Yes.
Restaurant industry is the most affected.
Yes. 100%. Yeah, 100%, Pratap. See, what we look into is, as I kept saying, is even we might be in lockdown for the last 1 month, but our team is continuously on discussions as to what should be our next thing. What we feel is probably offline also, I could certain things which I'll not be able to disclose what is our plans in this common group. But generally, what is going to be happening more is a known fact is the cloud kitchens are going to come up more now. People with real estates, the larger real estates are finding them already facing the heat of high real estate cost. The dark kitchens and the cloud kitchens can be kept in any nook and corner where the real estate charges can be very less. And the future, there is a continuous increase in terms of the delivery concepts happening. So that I feel is going to be the in thing. Even a couple of days back, I was reading an article in Hindu which says that Mumbai dabbawalas are being employed by a restaurant for delivering their foods.
Okay.
So the delivery is going to, because they don't have work now, dabbawalas don't have work now. So they have been employed as delivery experts and using their expertise, and the restaurant chain in Mumbai has used their expertise for delivery. So it is going to be a cloud kitchen based thing. And yes, of course, we have certain other things also being worked out, which of course I'll be very happy to share to you offline.
Sure, Anna. I just want to know how you are keeping your moral high and
let's hope the best, Acceptance is one thing, Pratap. That's a separate thing. Probably Gopi sir and Tariq sir should give me a separate session to talk on acceptance. Nothing to do with business.
Thank
you so much, Anna.
Yeah, pleasure.
Where you are talking about the example of the movie Chak De.
Yeah, you saw that, sir. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, very good.
This is a business inquiry. Sindhil has asked, how can we go through the product categories of Prego and place the order?
Yeah, you can just contact us, prego.co, but in this case, you can always share my number and I will put you into the right person, actually. You can check the website, prego.co.
Yeah. Mr. G.S. Vishwanath has a couple of questions. I'll ask him to ask you quickly. Vish?
Balaji, I am Vishwanath 82 batch chemical.
Oh, vanakkam sir.
Yeah, fine. I am into manufacturing bioseptic tanks and all that. So, last stage of the process after eating everything. Okay. So,
okay.
I'm just. Do you know the Shashi Kumar 86 batch? TriStar. He gave a couple of presentations. I thought you are all in the same line.
Okay. Yeah, he's my brother-in-law.
Oh, really? Okay. He gave a couple of presentations.
Okay. Very nice.
During the physical meeting, he used to come and
very nice.
So, are you complimenting each other? Kind of.
Yeah. He is into the fabrication sector. We are now into the branding.
Okay.
In terms of imported equipment.
Okay. The next question is, your factory is in Tirumudivakam?
No, I'm not from Tirumudivakam. My factory was in Tiruvottriyur. Okay. Now, as I told you, we have stopped fabrication completely. We are completely into Prego as a brand. Okay. Very soon, we are going to do a backward integration wherein we wanted to have a world-class facility in terms of indigenously manufacturing all these products here.
Okay, because I mean, my partner's company, they are into titanium fabrication and exporting to about 60 countries. So they got really state-of-the-art TIG welding and things like that. I mean, really.
So probably we can utilize their, if at all it's possible, we could utilize their things, expertise when we are getting into manufacturing very soon. That is what something which we are working on. I'll probably get your number from Tariq sir or Gopi sir. You can share get my number also from me.
One thing I find, because you are in these utensils which is sold, very poor quality welding and what is sold, no, this gunda anda la solra SS la.
இல்லைங்க அது என்னன்னா
pathetic quality, no stress relieving, if it just cracks due to stress. You know, it is pathetic that in a country, there's one company called Vinod they brand utensils, stainless steel utensils based out of Bombay. There's a brand called Vinod. But for them, not many people really want that quality of stainless steel utensils also. Things like they don't have deep drawing facility. They don't have, see, in automobile, we are so much ahead. But when it comes to utensils, pathetic. If you go and see, the welding is so pathetic. It is formed by hammering. It's so sad, actually. There's an endless opportunity to make these accessories or utensils. I just want to just share this.
No, exactly. And that is what happens when we go to the stainless steel valley, we say normally in Italy. Padova, Venice, Mestre, Conegliano, Treviso. There's a whole lot of Ancona, San Benedetto. I've traveled nook and corner in Italy more than I would have traveled at least close to 30, 40 times to Italy. The thing is, one thing if you see, one particular component is manufactured by one guy. He supplies to the valley. Okay. So he perfects that component. I always keep asking people, I mean, little bit away from business also, I keep asking people, where is that the fineness we have missed out? Is it during the independence or post-independence or pre-independence? The fineness in certain areas, I would say, right from the hygienic part of it itself, the roadside cleaning or the cleanliness itself.
It is sector-wise, because my batchmate Murli Shankar is the managing director of Super Auto Forge. I visited his factory. Amazing. They are making components for BMW and all that. It's something.
Ford car is being manufactured in Chennai. Hyundai car is being manufactured in Chennai. And Benz is being manufactured in India. BMW, for that matter, as a car itself is manufactured in India. And here we have, I don't know whether Prabhu is still there, our common friend of Gopi and myself. They make excellent products in precision and export for petroleum products. We are there. As you rightly said, certain sectors we are going, certain things like crude oil. If you see in stainless steel vessel sector, hitherto earlier, when my father used to do vessels business, there was only one quality of stainless steel. Then they introduced something called Pata sheet and introduced. They used something, introduced that. That is when the real downfall came.
Yes.
If you remember well, there was something called a copper bottom vessel.
Yes.
Copper bottom vessel, where very first time it was introduced, the coating below the copper bottom vessel was done of a very high quality, the thickness, everything. அது அப்புறம் என்ன ஆயிடுச்சு, காஸ்ட் கம்மி என்ன ஆயிடுச்சு, கடைசியில பேப்பர் மாதிரி வைக்காம காப்பர் அப்படி தடவி கொடுத்த மாதிரி இருந்தது. So that entire quality, and finally what happened is now nobody uses copper bottom. Correct. But I still have a copper bottom being used at my house for the last 20 years.
I know. So there is what I'm trying to tell you. There is huge potential. I mean, if you really look
potential, push and pull, and this is something push and pull concept. And what the market demands and what yes, of course, it's a very niche segment. Even Salem Steel Plant took an initiative. I don't know how many of you know that they took an initiative. I don't know whether they're still doing that. They took an initiative of manufacturing high quality products given to different fabricators and selling. But selling and marketing is something it did not reach the masses. Only people knew about it, were able to buy that. So அதனால அது கண்டினியூ ஆச்சா இல்லையான்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. But this is what happens.
Butterfly is doing quite well.
Yeah, they are also doing very well. They are doing quite. Things will happen. The change தான் எடுத்துட்டு வரணும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Okay. And the same thing with food safety also. I mean, I always feel like there's a huge unorganized sector in the food cart. If at all, Singapore la ponamna, Any restaurant you go, they have something called A, B, C certificate. You just behind the cashier, it's supposed to be displayed. Oh, you could have it here. Oh, A, na, okay, you could have it here. B, na, yes, with certain cautions. People going there will know this is what you will get from here. That quality is defined very clearly. Food cart idhula or awareness number create பண்ணிட்டுங்க அவங்களுக்கு. அதை வந்து ஒரு ரெவல்யூஷனைஸ் பண்ணோம்னா it's a huge market. Last week also speaker was telling, Mr. Sivasalam was talking about food cart, and in between we missed him out. Food cart is very, very important. ஏன்னா ஒரு சரவண பவன் எப்படி வந்து பாப்புலரைஸ் ஆனாங்கன்னா வெளியில போர்டு போடுறாங்க. இட் ஹாஸ் டு பி கம்யூனிகேட்டடுங்க. இங்க நாங்க தரமான கடலெண்ணெய், இந்த பிராண்டை போட்டு இந்த கடலெண்ணெய் உபயோகிக்கிறோம், இந்த பருப்பு உபயோகிக்கிறோம், இந்த அரிசி உபயோகிக்கிறோம். தட் வாஸ் a complete thing. It's not that people did not know இது எதுக்கடா blowing their own trumpet லாம் கிடையாது. We have to communicate, and that communication is very important, and that awareness is also very important in terms of this particular journey. And food la romba important என்னது. Communication is very important. Brand the communication தானுங்களே.
Anna Pratap here, I completely agree with you. Since I meet a lot of restaurateurs and getting reviews and all that, இப்பதான் நம்ம ஊர்ல அந்த FSSC certificate வாங்கணும் இல்ல லைசென்ஸ் வாங்கணும்ன்றது வந்திருக்கு. I think soon நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி we will reach that spot very soon, or in another 5 years or so நான் நினைக்கிறேன் நான்.
Super, Pratap. And Pratap, on the social interest, if your Chennai food guide could take up this food cart as an activity, we'll be, as Prego from our side, we'll be more than happy to support in whatever way. And we could rope in few other kitchen equipment manufacturers also. And we could make some models, or 5-6 models. We'll ensure that, give them awareness. We could conduct some workshops on FSSI. If we could join together, it will be really a very good social cause. It is for your children and our children and for our generations to come that we need to give the proper.
Definitely, because we are a member of 130,000 something. And there are a lot of home bakers, home chefs, restaurateurs, everyone is there. I'll do one thing, Anna. I will connect to you through Mohammed Ali, because he's the founder of Chennai Food Guide. I'm one of the admins.
Super. Mohammed Ali, Convenient Foods then,
Convenient Foods. Yeah. So we can certainly bounce this idea and
yeah, he's a very good friend of us.
பாத்துர்க்கேன் உங்க அவன் எல்லாமே பாத்துர்க்கேன். ஈவன் அந்த கின்னஸ் ரெக்கார்ட் அப்ப கூட வந்துட்டு அந்த
ஆமாமா we gave for the Guinness record. We made how many muffins was this? 12,000.
12,000 or something, or 24 feet or something. We kept it in the
forum mall. We did that using Prego oven. That's a very proud moment. I mean, I should have shared that also probably.
Please, you share it with the group here.
Sure. I can do that.
So certainly now we'll bounce this idea. I will get in touch with you now.
Sure. We'll do that. Food cart business, something very important. Organizing the food cart business, something very important.
Sure, certainly. Thank you.
Really nice discussion is going on. Yeah. Hello. Yeah.
I'm Ravi from Madurai.
Hello, Ravi. Sir, வணக்கம் சார். சொல்லுங்க ரவி சார். நல்லா இருக்கீங்களா?
நல்லா இருக்கேன். பாலாஜி போட்டு நாங்க மதுரையில வாட்டர் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் டெக்னிக்ஸ்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். இப்போ
எதுங்க வாட்டர்
மேனேஜ்மெண்ட்.
ஓகே.
எல்லாம் அந்த டிஷ் வாஷர்ல எவ்வளவு சேவிங்ஸ் ஆகும் அப்படின்னு நம்ம செஞ்சா we can promote as a social cause கூட பண்ணலாம் பாலாஜி. அந்த மாதிரி டேட்டா சொல்றாங்க. We want the data.
Sure, I can give that. If offhand I can give you this immediately. I can give you something is it uses 100 ml of water for washing one glass and 200 ml of water for washing one plate. Whereas நம்ம மேனுவலா பண்ணும்போது ஈஸியா 3 சிங்க் யூனிட் போட்டு பண்ணுவாங்க இல்லைங்களா? 3 தொட்டி மாதிரி போட்டிருப்பாங்க. அந்த 3 தொட்டியில போட்டு வாஷ் பண்ணும்போது and 200 ml என்றது இவ்வளவுதான். இந்த கப் ஆஃப் இந்த கிளாஸ் இவ்வளவுதான் தண்ணி ஒரு பிளேட் வாஷ் பண்றதுக்கு ஆகும். நம்ம இதுல வந்து நார்மலா 3 டேப் கொடுத்துருவாங்க, ரொம்ப வலிஞ்சுக்கிட்டே இருக்குங்க. ஒண்ணு தண்ணியோட காஸ்ட். மதுரையில எல்லாம் வந்து தண்ணி வந்து எல்லா இடத்துலயுமே தமிழ்நாட்டுல நம்மளுடைய ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி வாட்டர் ரிசோர்ஸ் வேஸ்ட் பண்ணக்கூடாது. ஏன்னா மதுரையில சில டைம் நான் தங்கியிருக்கேன், நல்ல ஸ்டார் ஹோட்டலே தங்கியிருக்கேங்க. தண்ணி எங்கெங்க வரல என்ன சார், தண்ணி மதுரையிலே இல்லைங்க சார் நாங்க ஒரு பீரியட்ல. அந்த அளவுக்கு வந்து வாட்டர் இஸ் அ வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் ரிசோர்ஸ். இன்னைக்கு எப்படி ஆக்சிஜனா வாட்டரும் வந்து இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் ரிசோர்ஸ்ங்க நமக்கு. அதை வேஸ்ட் பண்ணக்கூடாது. ஒண்ணு இல்லைங்க, இப்ப முதல் இருந்தவங்களே என்ன சொன்னாங்க, ஒரு 5-6 years பேக் வரைக்கும் கூட லாட் ஆஃப் பீப்புள் வில் சே, ஏங்க தண்ணி ஃப்ரீயா வருதுங்க, மோட்டரை போட்டு விட்டா போகுது. மோட்டரிங் காஸ்ட் ஒண்ணு இருக்குங்க, அதை விட இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் தண்ணியை ரிசோர்ஸ் நம்ம வேஸ்ட் பண்ணக்கூடாதுங்க. அது ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். அதனால கண்டிப்பா எடுத்துட்டு போன 200 ml ஆஃப் வாட்டர் வேற மேனுவலா வாஷ் பண்ணா 2 லிட்டர் ஆயிடுங்க. ஏன்னா 3 டேப்ஸ் ஓடிக்கிட்டே இருக்குங்க தண்ணி. வாட்டர் கன்சப்ஷன் 10% தாங்க தேவை, அவ்வளவுதான் தேவைங்க. அண்ட் இன்னொன்னு வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா மேனியலா பண்ணும் போதுங்க அவங்க லேடிஸ் தான் யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க மேக்சிமமா. அந்த இடமே மெஸ்ஸியா இருக்கும். என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, தண்ணியில அவங்க இருக்கும்போது ஸ்கின் எல்லாம் சாஃப்ட் ஆயிடுங்க. சாஃப்ட் ஆனா அந்த டிட்டர்ஜென்ட் அதுல போட்டு கையில பட்டு தேய்க்கும் போது புண்ணு ஆயிடுங்க. அதே திருப்பி அவங்க டிரான்ஸ்ஃபரும் பண்றாங்க. ஒண்ணு. ரெண்டாவது வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா டிஷ் வாஷர்ல வந்து 55 டிகிரிஸ் வாஷிங் நம்ம யூஸ் பண்றோங்க. 85 டிகிரிஸ் வந்து ரின்சிங் யூஸ் பண்றோம். நார்மலா நம்ம குளிக்கிற சுடுதண்ணி வந்து 40 டிகிரிஸ் உங்களுக்கு தெரியும், 40 அவ்வளவுதான் இருக்குங்க. அந்த தண்ணியை வந்து நமக்கு அதுக்கு மேல கொஞ்சம் போயிட்டாலும் நம்மளால ஸ்கின்ல படுறது இதா இருக்கும். ஸோ இவங்க மேனுவலா வாஷ் என்னதான் ஹாட் வாட்டர் வாஷ்ன்னு சொன்னா கூட 40-45 டிகிரிஸ் மேல அவங்க ஹாட் வாட்டர் வாஷ் எல்லாம் பண்ண போறது இல்லைங்க. ஸோ 55 டிகிரிஸ் அவுட் ரூல்டு. 85 டிகிரிஸ் தொடவே முடியாது தண்ணி. அந்த டெம்பரேச்சர்ல ரின்ஸ் ஆகும்போது உங்களுக்கு கம்ப்ளீட்டா இட் பிகம்ஸ் சானிடைஸ்ட் கம்ப்ளீட்லிங்க.
எத்தனை மாடல்ஸ் இருக்கு பாலாஜி? மாடல்ஸ் ஃபார் ஈச் கேட்டகரி?
ஆமாங்க, ஈச் கேட்டகரி. டீ ஷாப்ஸ், ஜூஸஸ்க்குலாம் we call it a glass washerங்க. Then we have something called a hood type dishwashers for restaurants, plates, conveyors. Industrial type க்கு ஒரு conveyor இருக்குங்க. Flight இது மாதிரி ஒரு 10,000 பிளேட் வாஷ் பண்ணோம், அதுக்கு flight type இருக்குங்க. Then we also have pot washers. இந்த ரொம்ப ஹார்டா இருக்கு இல்லையா, burnt food எல்லாம் இருக்கு இல்லைங்களா, பாட்ஸ், சின்ன பாட்ஸ், அதெல்லாம் வாஷ் பண்றதுக்கு pot washers.
இதெல்லாம் குணா கிச்சன்ல இருக்கா இல்ல எப்படி பாலாஜி?
இருக்குங்க, நீங்க பாக்கலாங்க, எல்லாமே பாக்கலாங்க, நீங்க அங்க பாக்கலாம். நீங்க எப்ப போறீங்கன்னு சொல்லுங்க, நான் அவங்க இன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணிடுறேன்.
ஓகே ஓகே ஓகே. லாக்டவுன்ல அவங்க திறந்துட்டாங்களான்னு தெரியல. லாக்டவுன்
இல்ல இன்னும் திறக்கலன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஷூருங்க, ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம்.
3 இயர்ஸ் பேக் நம்ம சென்னை ட்ரேட் ஃபேர்ல அவங்க இதுல வந்து ஸ்டால்.
அப்படிங்களா, ரொம்ப சந்தோஷங்க. மை இன்லாஸ் ஹவுஸ் இஸ் ஆல்சோ மதுரைங்க.
அப்படியா?
பேச்சியம்மன் படுதுறை.
டவுனுக்குள்ள இருக்காங்க. நாங்க எஸ்எஸ் காலனி அரசர்.
ஓ ஓகே ஓகே, வெரி நைஸ் குட்.
Balamurugan, you can unmute and ask.
Yeah, good afternoon, I am Balamurugan.
வணக்கம் பாலமுருகன் சார், எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
நல்லா இருக்கேன். பிரச்சனை, நான் இந்த வேஸ்ட் வாட்டர் ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் பிளான்ட், இந்த பயோகாஸ் பிளான்ட், ஃபுட் வேஸ்ட் வந்து பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். மெயின் ப்ராப்ளம் என்ன பாத்தீங்கன்னா, இந்த வர வேஸ்ட்ல வந்து there is no any segregation. ஏன்னா இன்க்ளூடிங் ட்ரைனேஜ்ல வந்து ஃபுட் வேஸ்ட், வாட்டர் எல்லாத்தையுமே உள்ள விடுறதுனால கம்ப்ளீட்லி தி பிளாக் தி சீவரேஜ் லைன் அண்ட் ஆல் தி சீவேஜ் ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் பிளான்ட். நான் ஜஸ்ட் சஜஸ்ட் பண்ண அப்படி உங்களுக்கு டிஷ் வாஷர்ல வந்து எனி சிம்பிள் மெக்கானிசம் டு செப்பரேட் தி வாட்டர் அண்ட் சாலிட். அப்படி ஃபார் ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் வாட்டர் அண்ட் we can reuse the dishwasher waste water, we can reuse the water, and food waste then we can go for some biogas plant la easy ah pannalam.
Exactly.
It is very useful, and lot of sewer line la pathina black jet rodding machine la potta main la paatha food waste da irukku pathina water road la paatha full ah ungalku food waste da irukum. Adha simple mechanism la neenga just separate panni koduthinga it will be very useful for treating the water and separating the solid waste. Just you can think about
ஷூருங்க, பண்ணலாம். இப்ப நாங்க என்ன ரெக்கமெண்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம்னா, ஹோட்டலியர்ஸ்க்கு வந்து we recommend them such that என்னன்னா முடிஞ்ச அளவுக்கு அந்த ஃபுட் வேஸ்டட் டிஷ் வாஷர் போடுறதுக்குள்ளார கிளீன் பண்ணிட்டு தான் போடணும். ஏன்னா ரின்ஸ் பண்ணிட்டு தான் போடணும். ஸோ அதனால they are forced to clear up all the wastage. That is point number 1. ஏன்னா இல்லாட்டி டிஷ் வாஷர்ல அப்படியே வேஸ்டேஜோட போட்டாங்கன்னா ஃபுல்லா சோக் ஆயிடும். நோ டைம் அகைன் they have to clean the dish washer. அதனால ரின்ஸ் பண்ணிட்டு தான் போடணும்னு சொல்லுவோம். இது வந்து பாயிண்ட் நம்பர் 1. பாயிண்ட் நம்பர் 2 வந்து என்ன பண்றோம், இப்போ நாங்க ஃபுட் வேஸ்டேஜ் ஹேண்ட்லிங்க்கு we are working on something called a de-waterங்க. கம்போஸ்ட், ஃபுட் கம்போஸ்ட் எடுத்துட்டு இட்ஸ் அரௌண்ட் 85% கிட்ட உங்களுக்கு வந்து வாட்டர் தான் ஃபுட் கம்போஸ்ட்ல. ஸோ அது வாட்டரை டீ-வாட்டர் பண்ணிட்டோம்னா ஃபெர்மெண்டேஷன் வந்து இட்ஸ் டிலேட் டு சர்டன் எக்ஸ்டென்ட்டுங்க. அதனால என்ன பண்றோம், டீ-வாட்டர் பண்ணிட்டு அப்படியே யாராவது கம்போஸ்ட் மேனுஃபேக்சருக்கு யாருக்காவது அப்படியே கொடுத்துடலாம். ரெஸ்டாரண்ட் ஓனர்ஸ் கேன் கிவ் இட் ஆஃப் அண்ட் இட் ஆக்குபைஸ் a very small பிளேஸ்ங்க. இன்னைக்கு இருக்கிறது வந்து ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் வந்து இதுதான், இந்த ஃபுட் ஹேண்ட்லிங் தான். வேஸ்ட் ஹேண்ட்லிங் இஸ் வெரி பேடுங்க. ஏன்னா அவங்களுக்கு சொல்யூஷன்ஸ் இன்னும் இல்லை. ஸோ we are working out on that. அண்ட் ஏன்னா எக்கனாமிக்ஸ் ஒர்க் அவுட் ஆகணும் ஃபார் ரெஸ்டாரண்ட்ஸ், அது வந்து வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஸோ we are just working on that aspect also. Point taken. We'll see how we could check on that.
Okay. Can it be like kind of dispersed by like using a blade or something like that? Can it be just chopped and dispersed so that doesn't clog?
அது வந்திருக்குங்க, அதுல கூட ஏதோ ஒரு மிஷின் வந்திருக்குங்க. பட் இட்ஸ் நாட், I don't think so. It has been commercially approved. This has been there for last 10 years. ஒரு பெரிய அந்த இது மாதிரி what they call as incinerate ன்னு சொல்லி American company Emerson is also doing that, and we had a few local companies also doing that. பட் அன்பார்ச்சுனேட்லி அது இன்னும் வந்து எதனால கிளிக் ஆகல, அப்படியே கரைச்சி போடும்போது ப்ராப்ளி அந்த பிஓடி லெவல்ஸ் எதுவும் மாறுதா என்னன்றது தெரியல. ஸோ தட் இஸ் நாட் பீன் வெல் அக்செப்டட் சோ ஃபார். We felt rather just crushing it, putting it to the drain. If you could de-water it and take it out, it will be a very good option. இருக்குமோன்றது ஒரு thought process which we were thinking.
So Balaji sir, I am Vaidhi sir, mechanical மைக்கேல் 97.
வணக்கம் வைத்தி சார், சொல்லுங்க சார்.
ஆக்சுவலி இப்போ வீட்ல நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ற டிஷ் வாஷர்ல அந்த பவுடர்ஸ் எல்லாம் செப்பரேட்டா அவங்களே கொடுக்குறாங்க. இப்போ போஸ்ட்னா தே ஆர் ரெக்கமெண்டிங் தேர் பிராண்ட் டிடர்ஜென்ட் மாதிரி. ஸோ இப்போ நீங்க இது பண்ணும்போது அதே மாதிரி ஆக்சுவலா இட்ஸ் ஸ்பெஷல்.
Yeah. We have a special detergent for Prego dishwashers also, but we recommend. We don't say that you have to use this. We also any other equivalent brand which is available in the market also we can do that.
So what is the difference between normal and this?
See, a dishwashing detergent one avangaloda proprietary rights irukum, which I'm not getting it. But overall, the concept wise, pathina for dishwashing you have to use a non-foaming detergent. Because foam பண்ணும்போது என்னன்னா it will start flowing out of the dishwasher. So you have to use a non-foaming detergent. One. ரெண்டாவது, you have to use a rinse aid. Rinse aid is something what happens is because you're not having any hand contact with the dishes. So there are chances for detergent streaks to fall, to occur on the plates or dishes. Residual irukadukana vaayippugal irukadukku irukku. So what happens is once you put in the rinse aid into it, it's nothing but a neutralizer. And it repels water stagnation. These are the two properties of the rinse aid. So use a detergent as well as a rinse aid.
Other use பண்ணக்கூடாதுன்றாங்க. So what is the aluminum like the cookers அதெல்லாம் வைக்க கூடாது அப்படினா instructions கொடுக்கறாங்க.
எனக்கு தெரியலங்க. எனக்கு தெரிஞ்ச வரைக்கும் அப்படி எல்லாம் நாங்க எதுமே சொல்றது இல்லங்க. எங்களோட pot washersல we use aluminum potsலாம் வேணா வச்சுக்கோங்கன்னு தான் நாங்க சொல்றோம். Of course எங்களோட கமர்ஷியல் இதுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா அலுமினியம் வந்து எங்களுடைய ஹோட்டல் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில ரொம்ப குறைவாயிடுச்சு யூஸ் பண்றது. Probably here and there 1 or 2 places they are using it. அதுமே நாங்க எதுமே ஸ்டாப் பண்றது இல்லைங்க. We tell them you can use it. First time I'm hearing this.
அவன் டெமோ கொடுக்கும்போது இது அலுமினியம் லைக் இந்த குக்கர்ஸ் தான் இருக்கும், மோஸ்ட்லி அலுமினியம், வேற எதுவும் இருக்காது. பட் they are saying that don't keep the aluminum inside.
தெரியல, எனி ரீசன் சொன்னாங்களா? எனக்கு தெரியலங்க. ப்ராப்ளம்
ஒரு ஆக்சுவலா ஒரு கடாய் மாதிரி ஒண்ணு வச்சு அது பார்த்தா கொஞ்சம் பிளாக் மாதிரி ஆயிடுச்சு. அது அந்த பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் அதனால தான் கேட்டேன், அந்த டிடர்ஜென்ட்ல வேற ஏதாவது மிக்ஸ் இருக்குமா?
தெரியல, எனக்கு தெரியலங்க. Because so far I have not come across this challenge. Probably I'll make a note of it and check it out. எனக்கு பிளஷருங்க வைத்தி, பிளஷர். ஆனா எனக்கு இதுலயே இல்லைங்க ஒண்ணு உங்களுக்கு கருப்பாயிடுச்சு. நீங்க எங்கள்கிட்ட ஒருத்தர் வந்தாருங்க, இந்த கிளாஸ், இந்த பித்தளை கிளாஸ்ல இப்ப காஃபி கொடுக்குற ஒரு ஃபேஷனுங்க இப்போ எல்லா இடத்துலயுமே இல்லைங்களா, நல்லா இருக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டு அப்படியே. ஆனா என்னன்னா மெயின்டைனிங் ஆஃப் தட் இஸ் a big problem. So what happened is ஒரு கருப்பா இருந்துச்சு. They brought that glasses to us. பட்ஜெட் வாஷ் பண்ணி பார்க்கணுங்க. அண்ட் we not even think anything is going to happen to that glass. பார்த்தோம்னா என்ன ஆயிடுச்சு, வாஷ் பண்ணி முடிச்சுட்டு பளிச்சுன்னு ஆயிடுச்சு. எங்களுக்கே புரியல, அந்த இன்னும் அந்த லைன் போட்டு கிளீன் பண்ண மாதிரி ஆயிடுச்சு. ஸோ இந்த கிளாஸ் வாஷ்ல இதுவும் பண்ணலாமான்னு எங்களுக்கும் நாங்க அதை பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டோம். அது வரைக்கும் we also did not know that. அதுமே அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் நாங்க வந்து தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டோம். ஸோ it's always a learning curve for all of us. அதனால ears and eyes ஓப்பனாவே இருக்கணும் எப்பயுமே.
Okay, thank you. Nice presentation, sir.
Thank you, Vaidi. Thank you so much.
Anbragan from Singapore, Anbragan 80 batch. You wanted to ask something.
Sir,
அன்பு சார், வணக்கம் சார், எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
வணக்கம்.
சிங்கப்பூர் எப்படி இருக்கு?
நல்லா இருக்கு. நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி இங்க வந்து ஆக்சுவலா there is always they have a food trap மாதிரி every restaurant they keep. அதுல வந்து என்ன செய்றாங்க, வாட் எவர் ஃபுட் இஸ் ஸ்டேயிங் ஒரு 1 வீக் ஒருத்தர் வந்து அவங்க அந்த என்விரான்மெண்டல் பீப்புள் வந்து தே ஜஸ்ட் பம்ப் இட் அவுட் as a semi solid everything and they do not go to the main drain at all. So for water treatment or anything, it will be the water will be more or less maybe dusty water but not semi solid water or anything like that. So the person was one of our friend was asking about the wastewater treatment. They can put a oil trap and food trap pits so that the foods will not go out of the system, but it will be 1 week once they can remove it. That type of things they are doing it. Just so I want to highlight it. And another one is a flash chillers. This is very common in Singapore for centralized kitchen, the hotels with centralized kitchen. But the problem is there is a small taste difference because they have to, as you said, they have to steam it and then they have to recook it little bit and then they have to add some onion, everything. I don't know whether they are practicing in India. But here there is a little difference is coming. I don't know how about the Brago equipment or something like that. Just I wanted to give a comment on that. That's all.
Super. Sir, you're running a restaurant, sir, in Singapore?
No. My friends are running restaurants, so just I have some idea. Like even one of our alumni, Sivaraman, had Saravana branches. Now he is not operating it, and a few of our friends are doing it. But the concept of sunrise kitchen or kitchen equipments are very common in locally manufactured. People are doing it, so very competitively. It is like a small and medium scale industry in Singapore, many places, Malaysia and Singapore.
Super. One thing which I would like to add, I don't know how far it's true, probably you should ask your restaurant friends. When I visited Singapore last, I was told the government is supporting them, all the restaurants, by giving an incentive for going for technology upgradation into their restaurants. In fact, for Combi Oven, what they are saying is, yes, for Combi Oven itself, the government, I was told, I don't know how far it's true, I was told for 1 year of usage, if you're able to you show the proof of usage for 1 year, they give some 30% waiver or something for the cost on your invoice value or something, because they are very much keen on promoting these kind of smart equipments into the restaurant and reduce the gas usage also. Yes, Combi Ovens comes both in electric and gas, but nowadays the smart kitchen concept, everything is moving towards electrical, induction, electrical. So this is something which is very important. So this is one aspect of it.
Here there are two types of type of mass kitchens are there. One is for workers. Actually, after the pandemic, everything, the whole total lockdown, all the workers are not allowed to go out and dine or cook in their premises. So they were allowed to cook for 20,000 people, 30,000 people, very big. Those kitchens are earlier, they were thinking that some 10-15 restaurants people can share the kitchen and use it. But because of their own proprietary tasting, all the things, they are not able to do it. But during pandemic, that type of 20,000 people, 30,000 people kitchens are very much used effectively, and even now they are using it. The major is that each small restaurants, because the Indian population is very small, so normally they allow 3 or 4 outlets. So for that, we don't need so much mass kitchen, but they used to have suddenly every, centralized kitchens are there for every major restaurant like Anjapar or here Gayatri and Apollo Chala, Banana Leaf Apollo, like that. All the people like Kailash Parvat, those people are having centralized kitchens to that extent, like Southalas, they are all using the flash chillers. They use it. Only thing is the quality is maintained by, like as you said, the certificates, grade A, B, C, like that. So mostly these restaurants are grade A, this one. So the food safety is very important. So here they are very strict with the food safety. So people are also very caring about the food safety.
It's very important. The awareness, as I was telling to Pratap also, the awareness is very important. Here also, என்ன நடக்குறாங்கன்னா ஐயோ சில் பண்ணி கொடுக்கணுமா ஃப்ரிட்ஜில் வச்சு சாப்பாடு கொடுக்கணும். இட்ஸ் நாட் தட்ங்க. அந்த கான்செப்ட் ஆஃப் ஃபுட் சேஃப்டி வந்து பிளாஸ்ட் சில்லிங் ஹேஸ் டு பி அவேர்னஸ் ப்ரோக்ராம்ஸ் ஹேஸ் டு பி கிரியேட்டட் இன் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஃபாரம்ஸ்ங்க. அது கொண்டு போய் மக்கள்கிட்ட சேர்க்கணும். தட் இஸ் வெரி வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். வாட் ஹேப்பன்ஸ் ஹியர் இஸ் ஃபியூ செயின்ஸ் வாட் தி டூ இஸ் இன் இந்தியா, ஒரு சென்ட்ரல் கிச்சன்ல வச்சு குக் பண்றாங்க, அப்படியே பால் வைக்கிற டேக்ஷில போட்டு அப்படியே வந்து அனுப்பி விடுறாங்க அவுட்லெட்டுக்கு. அவுட்லெட்ல அப்படியே இருக்கு, கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா எடுத்து பெயின்மெரில் டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர் பண்ணி போகுது. ஸோ தேர் இஸ் கோயிங் டு பி டெஃபினெட்லி லாஸ் ஆஃப் டேஸ்ட்.
இல்ல நீங்க சொன்னது மாதிரி அந்த ஈகோலி அந்த இதெல்லாம் இருக்குல்ல, பிகாஸ் இங்க வந்து ஈவன் கேட்டரிங் வந்து நாட் மோர் தென் 3 hours இஸ் அலௌட் டு கீப்.
World level adanga. World level that's a universal rule. 2 hours is the normal standard practice. Above 65 degrees la irunduchina, below 65 degrees you're not supposed to store food at all. 15 to 65 degrees you're not supposed to store food.
அதான் தட் இஸ் பட் இந்தியாவுல அதுவே இல்லையே.
இல்ல இதுல என்ன நடக்குதுன்னு இல்லங்க, அந்த அவேர்னஸ் இட்ஸ் கோயிங் டு டேக் லிட்டில் டைம். ஒரு சார் ஒருத்தர் சொன்ன மாதிரி, ஏன் எங்க சம்வேர் நம்ம விஸ்வநாத் சார் ரொம்ப அழகா சொன்னார், சம்வேர் வி மிஸ்ட் அவுட். இந்த அண்டா குண்டாலாம் ஏன் அப்படி க்ரூடா இருக்கு வெல்டிங், ஏன் டீப் ட்ரான் பண்ண மாட்டேன்றோம். இன்னைக்கு நான் சொல்றேங்க, டீப் ட்ரான் சிங்க்ஸ்ங்க, சிம்பிள் சிங்க்ஸ்ங்க, வெரி ஃபியூ பீப்புள் ஆர் இன்டு இட்ங்க. எல்லாமே உட்காந்து கையில தான் தட்டிட்டு இருக்கோம்.
ஆமா.
அது வந்து ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்டான ஒரு விஷயம். தட் இஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் இன் டர்ம்ஸ் ஆஃப் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் திங்ஸ். இங்க என்னன்னு சென்ட்ரல் கிச்சன்ல வைக்கிறோம், குக் பண்றோம், பால் கேன்ல ஊத்துறோம், எடுத்துட்டு போறோம், அவுட்லெட்ல வைக்கிறோம். அவுட்லெட்ல இப்ப நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி வச்சுட்டு காலையில வந்து சேர்ந்துருச்சுன்னா ஓகே, நான் 3 பேட்ச் அனுப்புவேன், 4 பேட்ச் அனுப்புவேன், 1 ஃபியூயல் வேஸ்டேஜ், அவ்வளவு 4 பேட்ச் வருது. ஒரே பேட்ச் பிளாஸ்ட் ஷீல் பண்ணி அனுப்புனீங்கன்னா கிளீனா அவங்களோட எல்லாமே ஃபுல் குக்ட் தேவையில்லை. ஒரு இது வந்து செமி குக்டா வச்சுக்கலாம், ஒன்னு ரா மெட்டீரியல் பிளாஸ்ட் ஃப்ரோசனா வச்சுக்கலாம், ஒன்னு ஃபுல்லி குக்டா வச்சுக்கலாம். எது தேவையோ இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இங்க பிரியாணி கேட்கிறாரு, தாரிக் சார் கேட்கிறாருன்னா ஐ வுட் சஜஸ்ட் ஹிம் a solution in terms of having a paste. Now lot of people are coming with a concept of paste. அந்த பேஸ்ட் வச்சுக்கிட்டோம்னா பிளாஸ்ட் ஷீல் பண்ண வெட் பேஸ்ட் வச்சுக்கிட்டோம்னா ரைஸ் சிக்கன் பேஸ்ட் போட்டு மிக்ஸ் பண்ணி காம்பில போட்டீங்கன்னா பிரியாணி இஸ் ரெடிங்க. Then you little bit increase the spice கம்மி பண்ணுங்க. கொஞ்சம் காம்பி also gives that leverage. எனக்கு இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் browning வேணும், எனக்கு இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் கம்மியா வேணும் browning, இல்ல slightly over cooked ஆகணும், இல்ல slightly under cooked ஆகணும். All that combi can take care. But the standardization வந்து it's very important. ஏன்னா இன்னும் உட்காந்து நம்ம வந்து அந்த பிரியாணின்றது வந்துங்க ஏன் நம்ம இப்போ வந்து இந்த ஒரு அவேர்னஸ் நம்ம வந்து ஃபுட் கார்ட்ஸ்லயும் மற்ற எல்லா ரெஸ்டாரண்ட்ஸ்லயும் கொண்டு வந்து அந்த கம்யூனிகேஷன் மக்கள்கிட்ட வந்து போய் சேர்ந்துருச்சுன்னு வைங்களேன், இட்ஸ் கோயிங் டு பி எனார்மஸ் இன்க்ரீஸ்ங்க. ஏன்னா இப்பதான் சொல்லிட்டு இருக்காங்க ஒருத்தனை, இந்த 2 நாளைக்கு முன்னாடி ஒரு ஃப்ரெண்ட் கிட்ட பேசிட்டு சொன்னாரு, எங்க காலப்போக்குல சப்ஸ்கிரிப்ஷன் மீல்ஸ் வில் பி த இன் திங்கிங்க. யாருமே 3 வேளை குக் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க வீட்டுல. பிகாஸ் ஹஸ்பண்ட் அண்ட் ஒய்ஃப் இருப்பாங்க, பசங்க யூஸ்வலா அட்லீஸ்ட் படிக்க போயிருப்பாங்க, நல்ல மேக்ஸிமம் 4 பேர் இருப்பாங்க வீட்டுல. தேவிட்டு அந்த கிச்சனை டர்ட்டி பண்ணி மெய்டை வச்சு அந்த பாத்திரம் கழுவுறது, டிஷ் வாஷர், அது இது எல்லா காம்ப்ளிகேஷனுக்கும் 3 மீல் சப்ஸ்கிரிப்ஷன் மீல்ஸ் கம்ப்ளீட்டா the app is going to be such that we will have to upload our medical data into it. அதே வந்து ஆப்பிள் calculate what is which vitamins is required, what food is required எல்லாமே பண்ணி அவங்க சப்ஸ்கிரிப்ஷன் மீல்ஸ்ல அனுப்பிடுறாங்க. So it is not going to be overloaded with carbohydrates. It's all in the near future it should happen.
I have a different suggestion. I have different suggestion.
சொல்லுங்க பிரதாப்.
Actually Mr. Pradap and you are Mr. Pradap and yourself and another one Karthikeyan are there. You can make one compliances some type of certifications. So each restaurant you can go and check that, then you can give like Singapore they give that ABC. Those type of things is another business area where you can standardize the hotels. So you can have a brand with the standards and all. So Brico brand standards. So this is a standard A hotel, this is a B hotel, C hotel. This type of business opportunity you can just explore it. That's what just I wanted to give a suggestion also.
Super. We can do that. But FSSAI is very, very strong. And we are in touch with them also. They are very strong. But implementation is the biggest challenge. It requires
only manufacturing
enormous resources. Enormous resources.
Manufacturing sector only that FSSAI is not.
நாங்களே வந்து சீஃப் மினிஸ்டர் கடைசியா வந்து எங்களை மாஸ்க் போட வச்சுட்டாருங்க. மாஸ்க் போடுங்க, கையை சுத்தமா வைங்க, சீஃப் மினிஸ்டர் இப்ப வந்துட்டாருங்க எங்களுக்கு. I mean, on a lighter note, but the point is implementation is definitely a challenge. Yes, it will take time.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nandu sir.
Anna, நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி subscription model is coming up because I see a lot of home-based chefs or cooks coming up with this monthly subscription model or weekly subscription model. They have a regular set of menu for every day. So I think that is going to be the future. What you said is absolutely right. இன்னொன்னு நீங்க blast chiller பத்தி பேசுனீங்க. நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி there is a lack of awareness. People என்ன நினைக்கிறாங்கன்னா அந்த ஹோட்டல்ஸ்ல போனீங்கன்னா சட்னியை ஃப்ரிட்ஜ்ல இருந்து வச்சு எடுத்து கொடுப்பாங்க, தொட்டு பார்த்து ஃப்ரிட்ஜ்ல காலையில அரைச்சதை இப்ப எடுத்து கொடுக்கலாம் அப்படின்வாங்க. ஸோ they think that நீங்க blast chill பண்ணி அதை இது பண்ணி கொண்டு வந்தீங்கன்னா இல்ல இதை ஃப்ரிட்ஜ்ல வச்சிருக்கானுங்க, கேட்கும்போது எடுத்து சூடு பண்ணி கொடுக்குறாங்க. So as you said, we need to create an awareness regarding blast chill. No nutrients are preserved in it. So there is no lack of freshness or anything into it. So that awareness has to be created among people and tell them this is one step ahead, or we are taking the food technology to ensure you are getting fresh food and people are unaware of blast chilling or and what it is exactly. அவங்கள பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் ஃப்ரிட்ஜ்ல வைக்கிறோம், எடுக்கிறோம், சூடு பண்றோம், கொடுக்குறோம். So that mindset or that concept has to be changed.
கண்டிப்பாங்க. இல்ல இதுல சரிங்க, இப்ப நம்ம வீட்லயே திடீர்னு குழம்பு ஃப்ரிட்ஜ்ல வச்சு எடுத்துக்கிறோம், ஏன் குழம்பு சூடு பண்ணாம கொடுக்குறோம்னு சொல்றோம். சரி, there is a concept. இப்ப நீங்க சட்னி சொல்றீங்க, தேங்காய் சட்னிங்க, தேங்காய் டெசிகேட் பண்ண தேங்காவை வந்து கம்ப்ளீட்டா அதோட இன்கிரீடியன்ஸ் எல்லாமே பிளாஸ்ட் சில் பண்ணி வந்துடலாங்க. The movement நான் என்ன சொல்றேங்க, probably there might be better food people than me. Probably I would look at it in a more simple logical way. என்னன்னா அது அந்த blast chillerல இருந்து எடுத்துட்டுங்க, probably have some just before grinding, have some little bit of warm water or something into it. Anyway, you could need to add water just to neutralize the temperature so it doesn't feel cold. And you can have small portions of this. ஒரு half kilo chutneys packets blast chill பண்ணி central kitchenல இருந்து வந்துடலாங்க இங்க. அந்த இதுல இருந்து அப்படியே நம்ம எடுத்து பண்ணிட்டே.
நான் என்ன சொல்றேன்னா, people doesn't know to differentiate blast chilling and refrigeration. That is the problem here.
And இன்னொன்னுங்க பிரதாப், or the team also எல்லாருக்குமே ஒரே கான்செப்ட் ஆஃப் blast chillingக்கும் chillingக்கும் என்னன்னா, blast chillingல இதான் வந்து ஃபுட்டோட கோர் பார்ட்டிகல் நம்ம மைக்ரோஸ்கோப்ல பார்த்தோம்னா, when blast chilling is happening there is very little of water going inside and before the food becomes hard and closed. Whereas in chilling it takes at the core temperature reach ஆகிறதுக்கு இந்த pores close பண்றதுக்கு ரொம்ப நேரம் ஆகும். So there will be a lot of water particles going inside. அதனால தான் ஃப்ரிட்ஜ்ல இருந்து நம்ம டைரக்டா வச்சிட்டு எடுக்கும்போது சலசலன்னு இருக்கும். Whereas blast chillerல அந்த ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் உடையாத அளவுக்கு எவ்வளவு வாட்டர் தேவையோ அந்த அளவுக்கு உள்ளார அப்சர்வ் ஆயிட்டு it will close the pores in a simple fashion. This is something very important for blast chilling. ஸோ அதனால அது ஒண்ணுங்க. ரெண்டாவது வந்து blast chiller வச்சு ஹீட் பண்ணக்கூடாது. ஹீட் பண்ண என்ன, இப்போ ரைஸ் ஹீட் பண்ணா ஏன்னா ஃப்ரைட் ரைஸ் மாதிரி ஆயிடுங்க. ரைஸ் ஹீட் பண்ணக்கூடாது, பிரியாணியை வந்து கடாயில போட்டு ஹீட் பண்ணக்கூடாது. You have to use a steamer. That's what it plays an important role. You have to regenerate, not reheat. ரெண்டுத்துக்கும் அதான் வித்தியாசம். அந்த 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 லாஸ்ட் மைல் கனெக்டிவிட்டி இருக்கு பாருங்க டெக்னாலஜில, அது அங்கங்க விடுறதுனால தான் till now we are facing challenges in terms of cloud kitchen concept. எங்கேயோ ஒரு இடத்துல நமக்கு மிஸ் ஆயிடுது. Very nice. Almost 1 hour ஆயிடுச்சு questions.
ரொம்ப ஃபைனலி ஒரு நல்ல ஃபீட்பேக் மிஸ்டர் மாணிக்கம் கொடுத்துட்டாங்க ஒரே லைன்ல. ரொம்ப தெளிவா பொறுமையா அழகா பேசுறீங்க பாலாஜி, அருமை அப்படின்னு.
ரொம்ப ரொம்ப சந்தோஷங்க. ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம்.